2 seconds, 1 second. The Spartans are state champions for the first time in school history. McLaughlin the rebound. The clock hits 0. The Spartans are state champions.
Homestead will win the victory bell for the first time in school history.
Goody to the basket, goes up and throws it down. Boom shakalaka, pick another SAC Holiday Tournament crown.
The road to the 6A state championship at Lucas Oil Stadium begins tonight. 2 SAC teams meet again, vying for a chance to play in the sectional final. Who will come out victorious? Coach Chad Zolman, Homestead's newest, most winningest coach, already led the Spartans to clinch the victory bell and is now hoping to send the Spartans to next week's final to win their second straight sectional title. As for Coach Kurt Tittman and the Snider Panthers, they are hoping to bounce back in a difficult year full of younger, developing players. Snider already lost to Homestead back in the regular season, but the last time these two teams faced each other in the postseason back in 2018, Snider came out on top. Welcome inside the Homestead Media Studios as we get closer to tonight's Class 6A sectional opening round battle between Homestead and Snider. Good evening to you. I'm Ashton Ackman alongside Matt Saalfrank and Chris Kohrman, who will be on the call later tonight. And welcome into the OPS pregame show. And guys, it's the first postseason test for the Spartans. It's against a team they already faced back in Week 5, the Snider Panthers. Should we expect the same type of outcome here tonight at Dave Walters Memorial Stadium?
No, this Snider team has gotten a lot better since that September 18th matchup. They found more consistency in their lineup. I'd expect tonight's matchup to be a lot closer than the previous one.
Yeah, Snider's defense has improved immensely. You know, they played Bishop Dwenger, one of the toughest offenses in the SAC, and held them to 17 points, 3 of those in the first half. I mean, if you can hold Bishop Dwenger to 3 points, you're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Homestead and Snider, these are two longtime rattles, two of the best programs in Northeast Indiana. They used to be a battle of the SAC and the NHC back when Homestead was in that conference, and it was only a postseason matchup back then. So usually the winner went on to great success in the postseason. But here's my question. Now that these two teams are in the same conference, has the rivalry been a little bit different between these two powerhouses?
Yeah, over the past few seasons, we've seen more competition between these programs. Snider, they lead the all-time series 18-5, but Homestead has won the past 2 matchups. Tonight is a bit different as Homestead is the heavy favorite in this one, but expect to see a closer matchup compared to earlier in the season when Homestead won by 30 points.
Yeah, like he said, you know, Snider was in control of this series for many years, and they found postseason success as well against Homestead, and now it's kind of flipped. Homestead the favorite tonight, so the series is kind of flipping around now.
Homestead is coming into the postseason as conference champions after beating Southside 41-0 a few weeks ago. It was an interesting season, to say the less, but a successful one as Homestead ensured that the victory bell would be staying here at Homestead next season. How unlikely was the scenario that we were going to be here tonight after a Week 1 loss in Northrop?
Yeah, that loss to Northrop was tough, but to be honest, I think the Week 2 matchup against Concordia was almost worse, considering the team turned it over 6 times, only put up 7 points on the offensive end. A lot of credit goes to the players and the coaching staff for this Homestead program. 8 wins in a row to end the season, and the Spartans are back-to-back SAC champs.
Yeah, I mean, think even back to before the season started. Homestead wasn't even the top contender in the SAC this year, and then they go out and lose to Northrop, and then they're like, well, now Homestead doesn't have a shot. They were able to rat off 8 straight wins. What an accomplishment by Homestead this year. A great season overall.
And what about the Snider Panthers? Not as hot as Homestead, but it feels like this is a team in the SAC that is really starting to find its stride at the right point.
Yeah, the Panthers have stepped up their play over the past few months of the season. Last matchup against Homestead, they only put up 3 points, which is a season low, and that loss to Homestead was just the 3rd time in Snider head coach Kurt Tittman's 149-game and 12-year career that his team scored 3 or fewer points in a game. Expect the Panthers to bounce back on the offensive end tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Kurt Tittman, he's got a great game plan tonight. You know, he's been in these big games. You know, he's won a state title. He's been in these playoff games. So expect Snider to come out with a good game plan. I'm sure they're well improved and they're ready for tonight.
There is still plenty of pregame action to come. When we come back, we'll look at the Spartans who made the All-SAC team, which was released last week during the bye week. And we'll also get Matt and Chris's keys to the game for tonight for the Spartans. Kickoff is approaching soon. Keep it right here. You're watching Homestead Football on Homestead Media on YouTube.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure. broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame show. Ashton Hackman joined in studio with tonight's audio commentators Matt Saalfrank and Chris Kohrman. And guys, some big news that came out last week was the announcement of the all SAC teams, and there was plenty of Homestead players on that list. Was there anything that stood out to you? Yeah, looking at this first team list, some very deserving players like Nate Anderson, who was actually fourth in the country in receiving touchdowns with 16. You also have running back Braden Hardwick, linebacker Luke Palmer. Nice to see some other players on the second and honorable mention teams. Isaac Barkus, Jared Kistler, Andrew Baer. Nice to see some Homestead players getting some credit around the area.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk surprises, maybe the fact that the first team for Homestead, it only features 2 defensive players. You know, the strong suit for this Homestead team is the defense, so maybe a little bit surprising on that there's only 2. But, you know, great selections there for Homestead players getting the credit that they deserve. Let's talk about second-team quarterback Evan Ormsby. His numbers certainly were not there in Week 1, but talk about a rough year to try and break out as a first-team quarterback. That's the SAC in 2020.
Yeah, Evan went from a backup D lineman in 2019 to being one of the hottest quarterbacks in the SAC over the past few months of the season. Just an incredible story, and congratulations to him for making the second team.
Yeah, I mean, what a turnaround he had from the beginning of the season to now. You know, you look at the Northrop, you look at the Concordia game, 2 not very good games for him, and you know what, could have went downhill from there, but he brought it back and he had a great season for sure.
Let's turn our attention to scenarios for next week. If Homestead wins tonight, they move on to play the winner of the Carroll versus Warsaw game. And Matt, Homestead has beaten Carroll once already this season. If both Carroll and Homestead win tonight and these 2 teams face again in the sectional final, what should we expect out of that matchup?
Yeah, I think if Homestead and Carroll do end up matching up next week, it'll be a lot closer for a few reasons. First, the first matchup was a 1-possession game with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Second, the matchup would be played at Carroll, a place where Homestead has not played since the regular season of 2019, so not too familiar with that field, obviously, not turf there, over at Carroll. And finally, 5 of Homestead's touchdowns in the game, in that Carroll game, came from 45 or more yards out. 3 of those scores came from 70 or more yards out. Expect to see the Carroll secondary better prepared for the Homestead passing attack, but obviously it's all hypotheticals at this point, as both Homestead and Carroll have to get through tough opponents tonight.
You know, beating a team twice in the same year is a difficult task, no matter who it is. And when you look at that game previous, Mason Englert, Carroll's top offensive player, he didn't find the end zone once. And if Carroll's going to want to have a shot in that game, they got to get him going and they got to get him in the end zone.
All right, before I let you gentlemen leave, the folks at home want to know what the Spartans need to do tonight to win. What are your guys' keys for the game?
Yeah, a big key for me is for the Homestead defense to limit the Snider run game. The Panthers have ran for 22 touchdowns this season, while averaging nearly 200 yards on the ground. If the Spartans can force Snider to pass the ball, it could be trouble for the Panthers if they only have 2 passing touchdowns this season so far.
Yeah, I think if you're the Homestead offense, I think you want to score early and you want to score often. You know, coming back from a deficit, even in a playoff game, it's not an easy task because your season's on the line. So I think scoring early and getting up early is definitely a key for tonight's game.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining me in the studio, and we're looking forward to your call of tonight's game. Matt and Chris have to head out to the stadium to get ready to call tonight's game, but we still have more pregame action ahead. Kickoff is getting closer. Homestead and Snider coming up at the top of the hour. The winner moves on, and the loser goes home. Coming up here on the OPS pregame show, Coach Chad Zolman joins us in the studio as we get set for tonight's sectional semifinal. Keep it right here. You're watching Homestead football on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame show as we're inching closer to tonight's Class 6A opening round sectional matchup between Homestead and Snider. I'm joined now in studio by Homestead Spartan head coach Chad Zoman. And coach, it's been 2 weeks since your team took on Southside in the last game of the regular season. I know we can't talk specifics, but it was known that a lot of players weren't going to be playing in that game. And after a slow start on offense, Homestead put it away in the second quarter to go on to win 41-0. How pleased were you with your team's effort in that challenging last game?
Well, they overcame some adversity during that week for sure. We had some kids that, like you said, couldn't play that Friday, and as a result, we had a lot of young kids that had to step up and play, and they did. And they did a great job. So I was really pleased with efforts on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. They played a good, solid game.
And with that win, the Spartans clinched the victory to go on and win their second straight season, edging out Dwenger because of the head-to-head win earlier in the season. You knew this was going to be a tough conference when you joined back a few years ago. So what does it feel like to come here this year and win it back-to-back?
It's a special deal. It's special because this is, like you said, it's a really good conference. So to win this back-to-back, we know what kind of effort this takes, and we know what kind of work it takes in the off-season by this group, and it's a reward for a lot of hard work on their part.
Also making news between the last game and now was the release of the SAC all-team lists, and there was lots of Spartans on that list this year, and rightfully so. But I want to talk about senior quarterback Evan Ormsby and his rise to an all-conference type of player. After week 2, I mean, let's be real, his numbers weren't really there. Only 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions thrown. Then each week, it seemed as if he was to get better. And over the next 7 games, all of those were wins, by the way, he threw for 29 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Can you talk about Evan's change after that week 1 matchup to now?
Well, if you look back at the amount of time we got to spend together as a team in the summer, it was significantly different than any other year. So he had to kind of learn his position as he played it throughout the season. I think that's what you saw. You know, the first couple games he really struggled, and from that point on, he flipped the switch, I believe, the second half of the Dwenger game, and from that point on, he's really played well. So it's been fun to watch his progression, and he happened to be in the conference where during a year when they're really loaded at quarterback in some places. So the all-conference thing was just the way it turned out for him.
You talked before the Southside game with Matt Saalfrank whether you preferred the bye week or not between week 9 and the postseason. So let's ask that question again. How do you think the extra week went for you and your team here this time around? And are you feeling refreshed and ready to get back at it tonight?
You know, the first time that we had a bye, I didn't like it because I felt like it gets you out of a flow. But the more we've done that, the more I've liked it because it does let us heal up a little bit. And we had 2 practices that week. We had two days where we just had meetings and went through game plan, but 2 days of practice, and then I gave them the rest of the week off. And this week has been one of the best weeks of practice. They're fresh. I see them moving better, and so I think we got our legs back under us, and hopefully that translates tonight.
Tonight kicks off postseason play in Class 5A and, of course, 6A. We know competition gets tougher the farther on you go, but there's just something different about late October football here in Indiana. What's sectional time like for you? Is all of the off-season workouts and hard work during the regular season kind of make tonight what it is?
Yeah, it does. You know, we talk about a second season beginning tonight, and it does. The difference between the first season and the second season is that if you don't win, you're done, and you're turning your equipment in the next week. You know, so that adds a little bit of intensity. That adds a little bit of effort. That adds a little bit of motivation especially for the seniors, because you never know if this is the last time you're going to put pads on, and so. That's what switches, and I think they have practiced that way this week in preparation for it, so it's been good.
Your opponent tonight is the Snider Panthers. This used to be a rivalry that could only meet in the postseason, but now since you see each other at least once a year in the regular conference matchup, you don't get that NHC and SAC angle anymore. So do you think this rivalry is still as good as it was a few years ago?
Oh yeah, I think it may be better because I think we're more competitive. they owned us for a long time, and we've had some success the last couple times. So we hope it turns into more of a rivalry. But it's been good for us to see them, and our kids have kind of stepped up and are playing better in this conference.
Speaking of Snider, they come in as one of the hottest teams in the SAC right now, winners of 5 of their past 7 games, with their only losses coming to you and to Dwenger. How different is this team tonight compared to the one you guys played back in Week 5?
Well, they were really young to start the season. So, Game 5, it's midway through the season. There's a lot of sophomores on that field for them. So they are now have a full season under their belt, and they're seasoned veterans at this point. So they're a different team, and so are we. And so we expect a really hard-fought, close football game.
What can we expect to see differently tonight between these two teams? I don't think anyone is predicting another 33-3 win tonight for Homestead. Do you see a different style and pace to tonight's game?
Well, you kind of figure out what you're good at by the end of the season. You get your team's personality and what they do well in offense and defense, and you kind of start leaning on those things. And you throw a wrinkle or two in, but for the most part, you kind of stick with what got you to this point and what you're good at. And I think Snider's going to do the same thing.
And finally, Coach, what are some keys to tonight for Homestead to advance to the sectional final?
Well, offensively, we have to control the ball and limit turnovers, no penalties, those types of things. And on defense, we have to tackle in bunches. This is a group that does not go down easily. They want to run the ball, and I think if we can do those two things, we'll be in good shape.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us today, and good luck tonight. When we come back, we'll get you caught up on the latest Homestead and regional athletics news as we gear up for the game here at home tonight. Homestead versus Snider kickoff is inching closer. More after these messages.
Rethink your limits.
Last Saturday, the Homestead girls and boys cross-country teams competed at the New Haven semi-state race, this year held in Huntington. The girls' race started at 9:45, and freshman Addison Canablo started strong, keeping up with the front pack. She fell behind a little bit, but still placed 13th overall, and the first runner in for Homestead with a time of 19:14. Senior Claire Weidler finished in 38th with a time of 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Top 6 teams move on to the state championship, the girls sneaking in 6th place by beating Huntington North by 2 points. As for the boys, they put up a good fight. Junior Ethan Bates finished 10th place overall with an average mile split of 5:09 per mile, with a time of 16:01, just short of breaking 16 minutes. However, he did break that goal several weeks ago at the Nike Twilight. Senior Donnie McCardle crossed the line at 16:30. The boys had a great race but fell short of advancing to the state championship. Ethan Bates still qualifies as an individual to run at state. He and the girls team will be in Terre Haute tomorrow for the cross-country state championship. And congratulations to the Homestead volleyball team on finishing their season. The team fell 3-0 against Hamilton Southeastern in regionals at Noblesville. They were also crowned the sectional championships for the second consecutive season and finished the year with an 18-12 record.
Up next, we'll join Matt Saalfrank and Chris Kohrman on the call as postseason play gets underway live from Dave Walters Memorial Stadium. It's Homestead and Snider, two powerhouse football programs battling it out once again. Sectional football kicks off when we come back. I'm Ashton Ackman. Thank you for joining me here on the OPS pregame show, and enjoy the game.
McLaughlin the rebound. The clock hits 0. The Spartans are state champions.
Homestead will win the victory bout for the first time in school history.
Goody to the basket, goes up and throws it down. Boom shakalaka, pick another SAC Holiday Tournament crown.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School, getting set for the matchup between the Homestead Spartans and the Snider Panthers. I'm Matt Saalfrank alongside Chris Kohrman, and we have a great game tonight. Last time these teams played a couple months ago when Homestead won 33-3, but should be a lot closer matchup tonight. The Snider team really improved in the run game. Who's a key player to watch out for on the Panthers offense?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the run game, Tyrese Brown. You cannot talk about, or you cannot not talk about him when it comes to this Snider offense. He has improved immensely for this Snider offense, and he is basically what makes this Snider offense as good as what it is.
And the Snider defense also much improved, holding Bishop Dwenger to just 17 points in the loss a couple weeks ago. Who are some key players to watch out for the Snider defense?
Well, I think the leader on the Snider defense is Dominic Moon. You know, he leads the team in tackles with 73 tackles. That's a lot of tackles for somebody, so definitely look for him. And then a Trey Hurst in there as well. He's got a decent amount of tackles. So the Snider defense has some talent on it.
Yeah, the Snider defense, one of the best run defenses in the SAC. They only allow 108 yards on the ground per game, but one of the worst pass defenses in the SAC, almost 200 yards allowed per game. And there's one thing for sure we know about this Homestead team, that basically since that Concordia game, they've been all pass, basically with Evan Ormsby putting up incredible numbers. He needs to have another good game tonight for the Homestead offense if the Spartans want to move on to next week.
Yeah, definitely. That's a player that's got to come out and show out if Homestead wants to move on. You're right about that. You know, he's had some good games as of recently. He stepped up his game, so we're going to see if that continues tonight. I'm sure it will.
Just about a minute or so away from kickoff between these two rivals. Snider leads the all-time series 18-5, but Homestead is on a 2-game win streak against the Panthers. These are the team's 7th matchup in the last 4 seasons, so these programs certainly used to seeing each other. I mentioned Homestead won 33-3 earlier in the regular season. In 2019, they won in the regular season 49-36, but 2 seasons ago, Snider got Homestead twice. They won 23-7 in the regular season, then in the sectional championship, which was here 2 years ago, Snider won that one 49-35. So Homestead 2 wins in a row against Snider, looking for a big one tonight to open the postseason.
Yeah, this is a big matchup for Homestead. You know, you beat a team in the regular season, and then it's like it puts that chip on your shoulder heading into tonight's game. You know, you're expected to come out and do what you did last time, but you cannot count out the Snider team. The Snider team has improved a lot since the last time we saw them.
Getting set for kickoff as Homestead
defers
first to the second half, so Snider will start with the ball.
Yeah, Snider's going to come out on offense. We'll see what they come out with. Look for maybe a run-heavy offense to start.
Yeah, the Panthers pretty much all run. 22 rushing touchdowns on the season, only 2 passing touchdowns on the season. Luke Halpert, the quarterback for Snider, expects him to, well, he pretty much needs to have a big game in the passing if the Panthers want to advance in this one, because this Homestead team, this is the shootout. They're probably going to win it, considering they beat Carroll 70-41 a couple weeks ago in a crazy shootout.
Yeah, Homestead seems to do very well in shootouts. Dwenger was a shootout in overtime, especially won that one, and then Carroll was a shootout, won that one. And even for an amount of time, Northside was a shootout, and Homestead won that one too. So Snider probably doesn't want this game to be a shootout.
Tavarius Jones back to receive for Snider deep. Homestead to kick off to the Panthers to start the game. We'll see if Snider's maybe going to be able to go down, drive the field, and put up some points. I also have my laptop in front of me, the Carroll and Warsaw game. That's the other matchup in this sectional, so the winner between Homestead and Snider will play the winner between Carroll and Warsaw. Keep an eye on that one. Update you throughout the night on scores. If Homestead wins and Carroll wins, Homestead would go to Carroll, so they wouldn't play here next week. But if Warsaw would win and Homestead wins, then they'd play here. Ready for kickoff, Carter Dixon, the junior, to kick off for the Homestead. SAC champs, 8-1, 8 in a row. Got the week off for the bye week last week. Kick is up. Tavarius Jones returns it. Long to the left side of the field across the 20. He has room across the 30, across the 40 now. 50 still on his feet. Across the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Snider to start the game. Kickoff return touchdown for Tavarius Jones.
He found it, and he was gone as soon as he hit that gap. What a start there for Snider. You know, in the pregame show, I said Homestead's got to come out with a good start. Well, Snider is the team that comes out with a good start right off the bat.
Almost in a sense, it's like the Homestead offense starting this game since 13 seconds into it. Except they're down 6-0, maybe 7-0 if the PAT is made. Crazy play to start this game. How about that? Kickoff return touchdown.
Yeah, no kidding about that. If you're Snider, couldn't ask for a better start at that point.
PAT to be attempted. Trent Ryder. (23-26) on PATs this season for Snider. It's 6-0 Panthers after the kickoff return touchdown by Tavarius Jones. Snap and kick. Good. 7-0 Snider. Really a perfect start for the Panthers, as now we get to see this high-powered Homestead offense come out there. And they don't really trail much, but they're trailing now.
Right, I think something that we've seen over the past this season is the way Homestead's able to answer on offense after a team scores a touchdown. Homestead has done very well in that aspect of if a team scores on them, then they come right back and they score again. That is definitely a key here for the Homestead offense, getting a touchdown early and trying to keep this game close.
If I'm right, I believe the most Homestead has trailed this season was by 7 points in quite a few games. And right now, 13 seconds into it, they're down 7-0 after Snider had a kickoff return touchdown. Tavarius Jones just broke out to the left side and was able to take it to the house to start the game.
Yeah, what a great run there for Snider.
And Austin Keyser and Nate Anderson deep for Homestead to return this one. So the Spartans will start with their first possession of the game on offense.
Ryder to kick off for Snider. Keyser and Anderson deep to
Trent Ryder to kick off for Snider. Anderson the near side, Keyser the far side. 7-0 Snider. 11:47 to go in the first after the kickoff return touchdown by the Panthers. Kick is up. It's a short one. Goes near Anderson. Finally collects it across the 20-yard line. He dives forward to about the 23-yard line. Was waiting to see if it might bounce out of bounds, but didn't. So Homestead some decent field possession here.
Yeah, it looks like he was ready for that ball to bounce out of bounds, but stayed in, so he picked it up. Not a bad choice there. Homestead offense is going to come out and try and have an answer.
Nate Anderson had a great game against Southside. 8 catches, 177 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Expect him to have a big game as he's on the near side, guarded by Tavarius Jones, one of the best DBs in the SAC. That's a key matchup to look out for tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
On the near side, Ormersby the quarterback, Hardwick the running back, 1st and 10 from their own 23. Ball is snapped. Hand off to Hardwick. He runs to the right side, now cuts back to the left side, and he's stopped at the 25-yard line, gain of 2. That'll bring up 2nd and long, maybe 2nd and 8 or 9.
Hardwick there trying to find a gap, stopped it, the line of scrimmage, and then try and made a move to the left, but couldn't find a hole. 2nd and medium here for Homestead, probably passing territory.
Yeah, so 2nd and 7, 11:18 to go, 7-0 Homestead trails on their own 26. 2 receivers either side. Chambers and Anderson on the near side. Sparrow and Kistler far side. 2nd and 7 for Homestead's offense. First possession of the game. All a snap. Hand off to Hardwick up the middle. He cuts around left side, still on his feet across the 40.
Hardwick on the carry.
It's about the 42-yard line, gain of maybe 16 on the play. First down for Homestead.
Good play there by Homestead. Hardwick able to make a move to the left and then accelerate after that, picking up a first down for Homestead. That's a great play there for Braden Hardwick.
And Hardwick is someone that didn't play against Southside, so it's been a while since he's been out on the field, as we see Isaac Barkus now come on for the Spartans. No running back, 5 receiver set for the Spartans. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Kistler, Sparrow, and Chambers right side. Anderson and Barkus left side. Ball snap, flag thrown. Penalty going against the Homestead Spartans. Play will not count.
Delay a game. Looks like delay a game there.
Going against the Spartans.
Delay of game called on Homestead. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
They're going to replay the first down now. 1st and 15 on their own 37 after the delay of game penalty. Hardwick now in the backfield. Ball snapped. Hand off to Hardwick. He goes to the right side and brought down about the 40-yard line. Gets maybe 2 or 3 yards on that one. As Hardwick is down, took a big hit. Nick Siddharth runs onto the field, the backup running back. And Hardwick has struggled with injuries last season when he went out with a season-ending injury, and this season. Tough to start this game for the Spartans. Their top running back, Braden Hardwick, on the ground after taking a big hit by Snider Panther defender. 7-0 Snider, 9:56 to go in the first quarter. Kickoff return touchdown for the Panthers to start this game, as Hardwick is still down for Homestead. This would be a tough loss. Hardwick has to come out of the game for the Spartans. As he gets up, and good thing to see. Have a score update from the Carroll game. They're up 7-0 with 9:28 to go in the first quarter over Warsaw. As Hardwick makes his way off the field slowly. Nick Siddharth, the backup, running back in.
You know, a kid like Braden Hardwick that puts so much effort and work into this, and seeing him go down like that, it's not good to see.
2nd down and 12.
So Nick Siddharth, senior running back, had a big game against Northside when Hardwick went out. 2nd and 12. Ormsby handoff to Siddharth along the right side. He has room, still on his feet. Gets to about the 48-yard line.
Siddharth on the
Gain of
carry.
about 8 will bring up about 3rd and 4 for Homestead.
That was a good creative play there by Homestead, not doing just your average run, moving, and then handing the ball off and faking out the Snider defense. Good play there by Homestead on a 2nd and long situation.
So Hardwick on the sideline for the Spartans after taking the big hit. It's now 3rd and 4 for Homestead on their own 48. They're down 7-0, 9:10 to go in the first quarter. Ball is snapped. Play action, Ormsby. And he's brought down by the Snider Panthers. A lot of players in there. DJ Moore, one of them, with the tackle. That brings up 4th down now for Homestead.
Yeah, good sack there by Snider. DJ Moore getting in the backfield, getting a sack there for Snider.
Ormsby by Snider leads to a 4th down coming up for Homestead.
4th and 8. Homestead to punt. Slow snap. Punt is up. Clean one. Bounces about the 30-yard line. That's where Snider will get it. So Homestead, they punt on their first possession of the game. Snider,
Hey, attention fans.
technically with their first possession, or second, how you want to read it, had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Their offense never saw the field.
You have your lights on.
Yeah, we'll see what Snider's going to come out here and do. They haven't had a a possession on offense. They returned that kick for a touchdown. Haven't seen their offense yet, so interested to see what they try and do here.
They're led by Tyrese Brown, the running back, nearly 300 rush yards and 5 rush touchdowns against Lures, Week 9 of the SAC regular season. One receiver near side, 1st and 10 on their own 30. Snider leading 7-0. Handoff up the middle to the running back, and that is Tyrese Brown. He's able to get maybe about 6 yards on the first down.
5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5.
Bring up 2nd and 4 now for Snider.
We're going to be saying his name a lot tonight. Snider favors him with the run game, so I'm sure we'll see him back running again.
He had 32 carries against Lures, so yeah, expect him to see a lot of action, and he gets the carry again. He breaks free. Tyrese Brown, as Isaac Barkus able to potentially save a touchdown across the 40-yard line to maybe about the 37 for Snider.
Oh, there ain't no doubt about that Isaac Barkus saved a touchdown right there. He was home free. Isaac able to dive and make a stop there, so that's a real good stop by Isaac Barkus, showing athleticism.
Snider in a bit of hurry-up offense right now. 1st and 10 from Homestead's 38. They lead 7-0, 7:42 to go in the first. Ball is snapped. Halpert to throw. Keeps it himself. He's able to get a few yards still on his feet, and he's finally thrown down to the ground by Luke Palmer for Homestead.
Yeah, Luke Palmer in there on a tackle. Good to see him getting going. You know, when Luke Palmer's going, I think that just adds emphasis to this Homestead defense playing.
Gain of 2 by Halpert on the quarterback run. 2nd and 8 from Homestead's 36-yard line. 7-0. Snider leads over Homestead. 7:13 to go in the opening quarter. 2 receivers out left. Halpert, the quarterback, takes the snap. Hand off to Brown. Fades a tackle, still on his feet, and finally brought down. Matt Miller couldn't bring him down the first time. He's able to get closer to the first down marker, but still not enough. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 for Snider coming up on offense.
This is a big play right here for the Homestead defense. You want to get Snider off the field. Their offense is moving the ball very well with the run game so far, and you're already down 7-0. You need to stop right here.
3rd and 3 from Homestead's 31. Snider leads 7-0 with the ball. 6:30 to go in the first. Brown gets the carry again. Stiff arms the defender, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Nothing there, maybe 1 yard, but that's going to be 4th and short, brought down by Cole Etchison from the Homestead defense.
Cole Etchison in there on that tackle, stopping Snider. This is 4-down territory, so Snider going to go for it here.
Swanson, receiver out left for Snider. 4th and 2. Snider 45% conversion rate on 4th downs this season. Takes a snap, handoff to Brown. As Snider able to push forward. Snider says they have it.
Yep, first down.
The Snider O-line deserves some credit there. Kept pushing forward and able to get the first down on 4th and 2.
It looks like he was going to be stopped short, maybe by a yard, and then O-line able to push him forward. So good play there for Snider.
7-0 Panthers, 5:30 to go in the first quarter in the sectional semifinal matchup. Halpert, the quarterback. Back to throw. He's chased, still on his feet, spins around, still going, and finally brought down.
Halpert on the carry.
Gets how many yards? Maybe 1.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
2nd down and 9.
Max Schultz in there on that tackle. Brings up 2nd and 9 here for Snider. Probably just going to look to keep running the ball, honestly. It's been working so far. Don't expect them to change what they're doing.
2nd and 9 from Homestead's 27. Panther ball is snapped, handoff to Tyrese Brown. Has a hole, still on his feet. Tyrese Brown still going. Gets forward to about the 6-yard line. Gain of about 20.
We'll get up to the 6-yard line.
For Snider, big first down.
Snider's knocking on the door again for another touchdown.
For the Panthers.
Their offense is moving, run the ball very well.
1st and goal from the 6. 4:33 to go in the first quarter. And off to Brown again, stumbles forward. get some progress, maybe 1 yard. He'll bring up 2nd and goal from about the 5-yard line for Snider, already up 7-0.
Yeah, it looked like the chains moved up maybe a yard and a half. So inching their way closer to a touchdown here is Snider.
2nd goal from the 4. So they have it on the scoreboard. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Snider already up 7-0. Hand off to Brown again, and the Homestead defense able to stop him. It's going to be 3rd and about that same distance, maybe about 3rd and 4.
Yeah, look,
3rd and goal from the 4.
Yep, 3rd and 4 here for Snider. You know, you're Snider. You don't want to come all this way and not get some points on the board. Homestead defense just needs to stay locked in. They're doing a great job right now.
One more stop for the Spartans defense. Ball is snapped. Play action. Halpert still on his feet, running right side. Throws it end zone. Nearly picked off by Isaac Barkus off his hands. That's going to be incomplete. 4th and goal from the 4.
Field goal kicker coming out for Snider.
They do have one of the better ones in the SAC, Trent Ryder. 5 of 8 field goals, which is pretty good for the high school level considering most teams don't even attempt field goals the entire season.
Got some wind here tonight. Could be a factor.
Snider already up 7-0, looking to go up 10-0 with a made field goal. It'd be, what, about a 16-yard field goal, not too far. Distance shouldn't be a problem for Trent Ryder, the starting kicker.
Desmond Smith coming off.
Appears to be limping a bit.
Aaron Wagner in now.
Field goal attempt for the Panthers. Someone moved.
False start.
That's going against
Snider.
the offense. False start on Snider.
The 5-yard penalty.
Brings him back 5 yards.
Replay 4th down.
So now about a 21-yard field goal for Trent Ryder. (7-0) Snider. Looking to go up more with a field goal here. 4th and goal from the 9. Snap is away. Kick is up. Has the leg.
It is good.
Nice made field goal by Trent Ryder. Now 6 of 9 on the season from field goals. It's 10-0 Snider. So all in all, I'd say maybe an effective drive. Didn't get the touchdown. They were so close, but still putting up points is good for Snider. Up 10-0 now.
Well, yeah, you can look at it that way. And look at the clock they took off. There's only 3 minutes left in this first quarter now. That was a very good drive by Snider. Taking time off the clock and coming away with some points. You know, not all 7, but they got 3. So a very good drive for Snider.
This is now the most Homestead has trailed all season. No points on the board. They're down 10-0, 3:21 to go in the first quarter.
We'll see what happens here. You know, Homestead, they're down 10-0. Like you said, new territory. Have not been down by this much. We'll see what their answer is.
So Snider already with more points than they scored the last time against Homestead. They only put up 3 in a 33-3 loss. That was back in week 5, September 18th. Ryder to kick off. Kick is up. It's returned along the left side across the 20-yard line. That's Anderson across the 30. Gets to about the 32-yard line. So still some decent field position for Homestead to start this second drive. First one ended in a punt.
Yeah, took a tough delay of game penalty on that drive, which backed them up. They were looking pretty good, and then that penalty kind of took them back. So tough one there.
First and 10 for Homestead at their own 31-yard line. Looking to move the ball down the field and put up some points. Over the last 7 games, Homestead's offense averages 45 points a game. Right now, 0, with 3:16 to go in the first quarter. Flag is thrown. Appears to be going against Snider.
encroachment on Snider there. Tough penalty for Snider. Tough way to start a drive with a 5-yard penalty there.
10-0, Homestead trails. Their biggest deficit of the season. 3:15 to go in the first. So penalty against Snider, now 1st and 5 for the Spartan offense. Currently on an 8-game win streak. Snider sends 4 to rush. Palmer in his H-back. Will almost be the quarterback. Ball snap, play action. Throws across to Anderson. That's complete. That's going to be a first down to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 9 for Nate Anderson. Another first down for Homestead.
Good quick pass there from Evan Ormsby. Just looked like a quick slant right there to Nate Anderson. Able to pick up the first down. Homestead going to look to keep that moving. Maybe some up-tempo offense here from Homestead.
1st and 10 from their own 45. Down 10-0, 2:55 to go in the first. And up to Siddharth along the right side. Doesn't get much, maybe 1 yard on 1st and 10. Snider defense in there once again.
No gain on the play.
Strong D-line of Thomas, Miles, Robinson, and Keel for the Panthers.
You know, that Snider D-line, they don't rush a whole lot. They move their linebackers back at the snap of the ball, so they're able to read that run perfectly, and right there, a prime example of that.
2nd and 10 for the Homestead offense. No points put up yet. Ormsby plenty of time across the field. That's Anderson again. That's complete across the 40-yard line. Now across the 30, still on his feet. Gets to about the 26-yard line. Big gain for Nate Anderson. Another first down for Homestead as they're finally moving the ball down the field.
Great pass there from Evan Ormsby. Nate Anderson again with the big catch. This Homestead offense is moving right now.
Hardwick still on the sideline for the Spartans. He went down with an injury early on in the game. 10-0, Snider leads 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. 2 receivers out left, Sparrow in motion now. End around to Sparrow along the right side of the field. Gets a couple yards on 1st and 10. That'll bring up 2nd and medium to long, maybe about 2nd and 7 or 8.
Yeah, good pickup there by Gage Sparrow. We've seen that end around play there by Homestead a lot this season. Not surprised that they're sticking with it.
3-yard pickup for Sparrow on the end around. Only a junior. Kistler wide right, Anderson wide left. 2nd and 7 from Snider's 23. Chambers in motion. Now the right side. Ball snapped. Play action. Ormsby has time. Across the field, that's complete. Ethan Chambers to about the 15-yard line.
It's going to be good enough for a first down.
It's enough for a first down, Homestead.
Homestead, their offense is moving right now. Clock's running down to just under a minute left here. So, you know Homestead's going to want to score right before the end of the quarter, but Homestead's offense looks good right now.
Palmer and Siddharth out there as the backs. Palmer, the H-back, Siddharth, the running back. Anderson and Sparrow, receivers out left. Sparrow in motion again. Fake end around to him. Ormsby to throw. Has a man. That's Chambers. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. Ethan Chambers. A 16-yard reception.
Good pass there by Evan Ormsby. Just one into Ethan Chambers. Ethan Chambers with the big catch. Homestead able to put some points up on the board right before the end of the first quarter.
Ethan Chambers, the senior, with his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. Had 20 catches, 206 yards coming into this game. Has one right there now. It's 10-6 with a PAT upcoming for Joe Dugan, who was also out against Southside a couple weeks ago for Homestead. Kick is up and good. It's now 10-7. Snider still on top. 35 seconds to go. In the first quarter, and score update, Carroll still up 7-0 over Warsaw in the first quarter.
Good response there by the Homestead offense coming back after Snider's got 10 up on you, and then you got to have a response. Homestead comes out with a pretty good one.
Dugan now 40 of 42 on PATs this season. one of the best kickers in the area. And he makes it there, 10-7. Spartans back in it now, only down by 3. Last time these teams played, Homestead won 33-3. Game that Snider really just appeared to be lost. But they found something since then, as the Panthers have played pretty well, winning 3 of their last 4 since that loss to Homestead. Their only loss coming to Dwenger, 17-7, in which they had a good chance to win that one late. So this Panther team, much improved since that 30-point loss to Homestead, and so far it's shown as they lead 10-7, and it was 10-0 at one point with 35 seconds to go in the first.
If you're Homestead here on the kickoff, I wouldn't kick it back to the guy you kicked it to the first time.
That's number 1, Tavarius Jones. Had the kickoff return touchdown to start the game, all the way back deep. Kick. They do kick it away from him. That's returned by Tyrese Brown, number 6, spins around a defender across the 35-yard line. He's finally brought down. So smart play for Homestead to kick away from the guy that returned it for a touchdown last time he got the ball.
Yeah, but it even seems like kicking to a guy like Tyrese Brown. You know, he's their star running back. He can move, definitely. So Snider's got a couple good returners on their team.
As the Panthers have 29 seconds left in the first quarter, we'll see what they can do.
I would expect just a couple run plays here, maybe. Just try and pick up some yards if you can right before the end of this quarter.
So far for Snider, it's been touchdown, field goal to start. It's now 10-7, Panthers still in front. 1st and 10 from their own 36. Play action, Halpert keeps it himself, runs left side, has a seam, close to the first down marker.
On the carry.
Gain of maybe 10. They move the chains. Gain of 10 for Halpert, the quarterback.
What a great job this Snider offense is doing early on. You know, Homestead's doing a great job so far, but Snider's offense is just coming out and flying around.
10 seconds to go. The first. Flag thrown. 6 seconds to go.
Flag on the play, the false start.
False start against Snider. We've seen quite a few penalties in this one.
Yeah, even just the little penalties, delay game, false start, offsides. So no big penalties, just the simple penalties that can hurt you.
10-7, Snider leads. And they have .2 now to make it 0. End of the first quarter.
Up next,
Last Saturday, the Homestead girls and boys cross-country teams competed at the
Homestead
Moe's Southwest Grill, located at 6739 West Jefferson Boulevard next to Dunkin' Donuts Baskin Robbins. You can contact Moe's by calling 969 Moe's or for catering, and that number is 969.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
of the second quarter. Snider leading Homestead 10-7 after 1. 1st and 15 for the Panthers. Ball is snapped. Hand off to Brown. He runs forward to about the 45-yard line. He's brought down by a few players. Andrew Baer, one of them, for Homestead.
Almost looked like a missed handoff there. Looks like the quarterback might have handed the ball off late, but able to get it to him. And like I said, Snider's offense is doing a great job early on.
Tyler Dent on the near side, the receiver. Deron Swanson the far side receiver for Snider. Brown, the running back, alongside Haupert, the quarterback. 11:20 to go in the second quarter. 10-7 Snider on top. Haupert runs out right side. Still on his feet, decides to go for it. Has yardage, gets across the first down marker. Haupert, a big gain for Snider, about 11.
Very good run there by Haupert right there, picking up a first down, keeping this Homestead defense just guessing on what they're about to run.
Schultz able to bring him down. Haupert may not be or at least putting up the great numbers in the air, but he's been able to run it so far.
You have not seen a pass play yet, have we? I don't recall one.
I don't think so. Haupert keeps it himself. Gets a couple yards.
Another quarterback keeper
On 1st and 10.
No gain on the play.
There's no gain. 2nd and 10 coming up.
You know, in the pregame show, Matt talked about how this Homestead defense needs to stop the run and make Snider throw the ball. Well, you see what happens when Snider's able to just run the ball.
Dent and Swanson, the near side receivers for Snider. Brown, the running back. Snap. And it's a handoff to Brown across the 40, now 35, still going. And Homestead not able to bring him down, but finally took about 6 Homestead defenders, and he's finally brought down Tyrese Brown, a powerful running back for Snider. Gain of 11.
Yeah,
First down.
Every Homestead defensive player's right there in that circle. Looks like Ryan Burton came up, Isaac Barkis came up from there. So good stop by all the Homestead defenders, but first down there for Snider.
Brown running off the field. His helmet came off. See Snider maybe mixing up a bit with the formation. Maybe a 3-receiver set on the right side. Potential pass play coming up for the Panthers. 1st and 10. Homestead's 31, back to throw. Haupert throws it deep and incomplete.
Haupert's pass
That'll bring up
is incomplete.
2nd and 10.
Carter Cronin went in there on the coverage right there, Snider not able to convert the pass right there. Tough play for Snider. So we'll see if they go back to the run, just what they're comfortable with.
I believe Jordan Lee was the intended target. 10:05 to go in the second. 10-7 Snider on Homestead's 31. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Brown back in at running back. Ball snapped. Handoff to Brown. Again, Palmer hits him hard right away. He's able to be brought down thanks to the big hit by Luke Palmer as soon as he got the ball. Not able to pick up much, and that'll bring up 3rd and long for Snider.
Luke Palmer not letting that guy go anywhere in the backfield. 3rd and long here for Snider. Going to be interesting to see what they do here. They haven't been faced with a 3rd and long yet. So interested to see what play call they come out with.
Snider only 27% conversion rate on 3rd downs this season. 3rd and 8 from Homestead's 29. Back to throw is Haupert. Pass was deflected potentially, and that's picked off by Homestead on the far side. Desmond Smith with the interception for the Spartans. His 2nd interception of the season, had one against Wayne on a 2-point conversion. His 2nd right there.
Yeah, great play there by Desmond Smith. Able to read the balls coming that way, jump in front of the wide receiver, get a pick. That's a great pick by Desmond Smith right there. Change of momentum as well. Snider had it going, and then Homestead able to get that stop right there.
Luke Haupert with his 6th interception of the season, only 2 pass touchdowns so far, but really didn't get a lot of playing time at quarterback till about mid-season. Homestead now takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 23, down 3. Ormsby still with it. As a whole, still going. Finally thrown down
On the quarterback keeper.
by Trey Hurst, but only
6 yards
after a
pickup.
gain of 6 yards.
2nd down and 4.
2nd and 4 coming up for the Homestead offense. They're down 10-7, 9:06 to go, the 2nd quarter.
Looked like maybe Evan Ormsby was going to throw the ball and then couldn't get anyone open, found a hole, and went with it. 2nd and 4 here for Homestead.
Two receivers either side. Siddhartha running back, Hardwick still on the sideline. Back to throw. Ormsby across the left side of the field. That's Chambers across midfield now. Takes about 5 Panther defenders to bring him down. So Ethan Chambers, a nice catch to about the 46-yard line.
25-yard pickup.
Now in Snider territory after a 25-yard pickup.
A great catch there by Ethan Chambers. He's keeping it going. He's already got a touchdown, so he's definitely just keeping it going.
Carroll Warsaw tied at 7 now. That one in the second quarter. 1st and 10. Homestead from Snider's 46. They trail 10-7. 8:24 to go before halftime. Chambers in motion now to the left side. Kistler out deep right side. Ormsby throws to Sparrow, incomplete. As Ormsby was hit hard.
If that pass connects right there, it looks like that could have been a big play for Homestead if that was connected. Gage Sparrow had a lot of open room in front of him.
2nd and 10. After the incomplete pass. 10-7 Snider. 8:13 to go on the 46-yard line of the Panthers. Homestead ball. After the Desmond Smith interception for the Homestead defense. Hand off to Siddharth. He's hit hard and right away brought down.
Siddharth on the carry.
Dominic Moon, one of the players in the tackle for Snider. Loss of 1, 3rd and 11 coming up for Homestead.
It brings up a 3rd and long here for Homestead. You got to assume, just by assumption that they're going to throw the ball here.
Carroll just took a 14-7 lead over Warsaw, 8:51 to go in the second quarter. So if Carroll wins and Homestead wins, Homestead would go to Carroll. 10-7 Snider, Homestead 3rd and 11 on Snider's 47. 7:30 to go before halftime. Ormsby, plenty of time to throw. Decides to keep it himself. He's going to be stopped way short, about the 39-yard line. Snider,
4
gain
down.
of 5.
4 down territory.
4th down and about 6.
Yeah. I would think.
Homestead only 29% conversion rate on 4th downs this season. 10-7. Snider leading. Homestead with a 4th and medium from Snider's 41.
Looks like the QB punt formation.
You are correct. Ormsby a nice punt. Let's see if Homestead's able to get it before it goes in the end zone. Anderson to Chambers. That was a nice attempt.
Into the end zone. It's a touchback.
Good try. But
Snider
touchback as Snider
from the 20.
now from the 20-yard line. That was a nice attempt from Anderson and Chambers. Just couldn't quite get it.
Oh, yeah, it was a great attempt right there. And if that goes, the ball's down on the 2. So great attempt there, making most out of what they had. And great punt there by Evan Ormsby, giving them a shot. But tough break there for Homestead, that being called a touchback.
Team's second punt of the game. Their 3rd possession. Chambers had a 16-yard receiving touchdown for Snider. Kickoff return by Tavarius Jones, the first play of the game, then a field goal from Trent Ryder. Now 10-7. Snider on top, 6:42 in the second. Homestead will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Snider now on offense with their 4th possession of the game. We're unable to go a couple yards to maybe about the 25-yard line. Tyrese Brown, another carry for him.
Snider's just strictly out there, just going with the ground and pound game. And it's worked. They're up in this game. So, of course, that touchdown came on a kick return, so kind of hard to pinpoint on that. But Tyrese Brown's having himself a night.
Snider have won 5 of their last 7 games. Only losses coming to Homestead and Dwenger since they started 0-2. Back-to-back 30-point losses to Northside and Carroll. Panthers playing well and showing up by 3 over Homestead. Under 6 minutes to go. Halpert to throw. Has a man. That's complete. Cross midfield to about the 46-yard line.
Halpert's pass to Ferks is complete.
It was a great pass there by Halpert. Able to find a connection right there. Big pickup for the 1st down. You know, Snider's not a team that looks to throw the ball even if they have to, but that was a very good pass.
I believe Lincoln Firks with the catch. Big play for Snider. 1st and 10, now in Homestead's territory. On their 47-yard line, Halpert throws the left side. That's Billingsley. He stopped a few yards back.
Ryan Burton in there on that tackle. Ryan Burton's had a great season. He's definitely one of the players that we talked about when leaving players off the first team and the second team. So great tackle there by Ryan Burton, not letting him go anywhere.
Snider, loss of 2 in the play, 2nd and 12 from Homestead's 49. Snap, play action, Halpert keeps it himself. Still going, gets to about the 46-yard line, gain of 3, past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 9 still for the Panthers, long way to go.
A passing play here probably by Snider with a 3rd and long. We saw what they did last time they went and threw the ball. It worked. So we'll see if maybe they got some confidence in their passing game now.
Swanson out right as a receiver. Halpert the quarterback, Brown the running back. Ball is snapped. Halpert plenty of time. Intended for a Dorian Rogers, but incomplete. Couldn't quite connect, and now it's going to be 4th and 9 for Snider. Probably going to punt it away.
Carter Cronin went in there maybe being able to force pressure on the quarterback and forcing him to throw that pass to the backside. So good play there by the Homestead defense.
Chambers to return, standing at about his own 15-yard line. Ball snap. Punt is away cleanly. Talmonte is the punt. Not a great one, as Homestead will get pretty good field position.
Yeah, that's great field positioning there for Homestead. So we'll see if they come out and get something going.
10-7. Snider leading. Homestead a chance to take the lead for the first time. Ball at their own 32. Homestead with their 4th possession of the game. 2 punts and Ethan Chambers receiving touchdown. Ormsby now up to 31 pass touchdowns on the season. 1st and 10, 4:04 to go in the second. Ball is snapped. Siddharth gets the carry, but right away, DJ Moore in the tackle for Snider.
And DJ Moore able to get in the backfield again. Not the first time he's been able to do that. So Homestead O-line needs to step up, get him contained here.
2nd and 12 now for Homestead. On their own 30, 3:35 to go, 10-7. They trail. 3.5 before halftime. 2 receivers either side. Play action. Ormsby has a man. That's Anderson. Slips, but able to take a few steps more for the first down. Big gain for Nate Anderson. Another catch for him, the junior receiver, who's top 5 in the country in receiving touchdowns, as he has 16 on the season. Homestead hurry-up offense, 1st and 10. From their own 43, down by 3. It's 10-7, Snider on top. 3:05 to go before halftime. Spartans to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers out right, 1 out left. Throw left side, that's complete. Anderson again has enough for another first down. Had a 10-yard pickup.
An 11-yard pickup and a first down.
Homestead's offense is moving right now. They got it going. A big pickup on first down by Nate Anderson, and now that one right there. So Homestead's got it moving at the right time.
Haven't seen too many explosive plays like we're used to seeing, like the big 80-yarders, at least in the air so far. 1st and 10 from Snider's 46. Ormsby keeps it himself. So going. finally, officials blow the whistle and decide to rule him down. Gain of about 8 for Ormsby, so still pretty nice run.
We talk about the big 80-yard plays. If you watch the Snider cornerbacks, their first move is to run back like 5 to 10 yards. So their cornerbacks are anticipating a big play. So look for Homestead to keep it short.
Yep. Say back off now. Smart thing to do for the defensive backs. Ormsby play action, plenty of time. It's going to be brought down by the Panthers' DJ Moore.
For a 1-yard loss.
One of the players with the part of the sack.
Yeah, Snider's got a great strategy going, I think, with their cornerbacks, is moving them back 5 to 10 yards just so Homestead isn't able to have the big explosive plays that we have seen so far this season.
3rd and 3 coming up for Homestead. 1:20 to go before halftime. Ball snap, back to throw. Ormsby across the middle. Intercepted by Snider. Did he hang on to it?
Interception.
They do hold on to it. Dominic Moon, the leading tackler on the team, with the interception. Ormsby with his 10th pick of the season.
Moon with the pickoff.
That's a great interception there by Snider. You know, Homestead had it going, and then all of a sudden Snider's able to come in and get an interception. So minute and 13 seconds left. Snider's got to move quick if they want to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Homestead was moving towards the end zone trying to score before halftime, but the turnover by the Spartans. Dominic Moon the pick. And Snider back out there. Both teams with 3 timeouts left in the half. Snider now with their 5th possession of the game. Back to throw Halpert. That's Swanson. Is that a lateral? Coach is up here arguing it was backwards, but
it looked like a backwards.
May need to rewatch that one. That looked close.
It looked like a backwards pass.
Calls an incomplete pass on the field.
Tough break there for Homestead. From where I'm sitting, it looked like a backwards pass, but ref's not able to jump on that one, so tough break for Homestead.
Spartans now need to stop on defense. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Pass to the right side. That's complete. Goes out of bounds. Is that Dent with the catch?
Yeah.
This is 3rd catch of the season. Panthers don't really throw it a lot, at least this season. Clearly missing John Barnes Jr., the really solid quarterback over the past few seasons. Also hit a particular buzzer beater against a particular team earlier this year. What was it, January?
Yeah. But, yeah, like you said about John Barnes, he was able to open this Snider team up to passing.
Hand off to Brown. Gets the first down for Snider. Panthers still moving.
5-yard pickup.
Gain of about 5. Clock stopped with 1 minute to go. 10-7 Snider.
Timeout, Snider.
Timeout called by Snider. They have 1 minute to put up some points. We'll see if they're able to do that or not. And we would like to thank one of our sponsors who has helped make this broadcast possible. First Federal Savings Bank is a community bank with locations in Fort Wayne, Huntington, and Warsaw. Contact them by phone at 260-436-2100 and online at www.firstfedindiana.bank. Is up here in the booth. We're watching the replay, and that's close, whether
it's close.
A lateral or not.
It is very close. Of course, the camera angle is kind of at like a little off angle, but, you know, when I saw it at first glance, I thought it was a backwards pass, but, you know, tough break for Homestead. Homestead's got to get refocused here.
Yeah, the Spartans could easily get the ball back. They do have all 3 timeouts left, so a couple more stops. I know it's 1st and 10 for Snider. The other game, oh, I just see Carroll score a touchdown. Just look over at my laptop. That's number 7. I forget who that is right now off the top of my head.
Mason Englert?
Probably.
Yeah.
Mason Englert, I guess, with a bomb of a catch. So Carroll now up 20-14 over Warsaw. That one, about 4.5 left in the second, but back to this game now.
Real close game there.
10-7. Snider out of the timeout. Halper back to throw. Still with it. Finally gets it away. Oh, Palmer nearly had it. It was in his hands, but couldn't hold on to it. It's incomplete. Clock stops. 54.8 to go in the first half.
Almost a big interception there from Snider, but drop pass there. Tough break for Homestead. Homestead almost able to get that ball back right there. That would have been big.
Had he held on to it, that would have been Palmer's second interception in his career and first this season. 2nd and 10 for Snider. Homestead still with 3 timeouts. 54 seconds to go. Snider up 10-7 on their own 47-yard line. Halper back to throw, plenty of time. Inaccurate pass, incomplete again. It's 3rd and 10. Has Homestead a real chance to make a stop and use a timeout if they have to and get the ball right back?
Yeah, problem with that is, though, depending on how much time they take here, you get the ball back with 10 to 20 seconds, and then you got to think, we get the ball after half. Is it worth it to even try something?
I mean, the Spartans, they could use one of their timeouts.
Right.
I believe they do have 3.
Yep.
50 seconds left.
So there is a shot at it, but got to depend on what happens here.
3rd and 10 for Snider. Handoff to Brown. He's going to be way short. Palmer with the tackle again. That's going to bring up about 4th and 10, and Homestead calls a timeout. 41 seconds to go. They're going to get the ball back. One more chance to score before this half ends, as they do get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, this would be big. Even getting any points up on the board, and 3 points would even be good if they're able to get one.
This Homestead team at home in 4 games this season averaged 45.8 points per game on the offensive end. But on the defensive end at home, they give up 34 points per game, which is 8th in the SAC. On the road, they give up just under 6 points a game. Some of that has to do with the quality of opponents they played, like Carroll, Dwenger. We're both at home, but still the Homestead defense at home appears to struggle a bit more compared to when playing on the road, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, it is. But you're right, they do very well on the road, and then they had that 1 loss at home. So, it's tough to say they struggle at home with only 1 loss, but yeah, they do have the better record on the road.
4th and 10 for Snider. Gonna punt it away. Chambers to return about its 21-yard line. As Parrish went, but he's pointing to a Snider player. Maybe they move first.
False start. Looks like that movement on. Oh.
Offsides on Homestead.
Wow.
5-yard penalty.
It looked like that Snider player moves back. And then Homestead reacts to that. And then they call the offsides. Tough call there.
4th and 5 now for Snider. Gonna punt it away. Maybe got a piece of it. Gets a Snider bounce though, and big roll across the 32, about 27-yard line of Homestead. They have 27 seconds left, so a chance with 2 timeouts.
Yeah, you got 27 seconds with 2 timeouts. You got to move quick, and you got to be able to get a couple deep passes thrown in.
Homestead with their 5th possession of the first half. 2 punts, a turnover, and a touchdown. Chambers the only score. Ormsby to Chambers from 16 yards out. Spartans certainly have enough power to get there. 27 seconds. We've talked about those big, 70, 80-yard bombs. This could be a chance for another one of them.
No, they're going to kneel it.
Guess I'm wrong. They're not going to go for it. Maybe a smart thing, just head into half. They do get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. It's 10-7. Going to be the halftime score. 16 seconds on the clock as both teams head into halftime with Homestead down by 3. It's Snider 10, Homestead 7 at the break. And with that, we're going to take a quick timeout and be right back after this.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Homestead High School currently at halftime between the Homestead Spartans and the Snider Panthers in the sectional semifinal matchup. The score at half is Snider 10, Homestead 7. That was the first half with, well, for sure one big play to start the game. Tavarius Jones, a kickoff return touchdown, put the Panthers up 7-0, 13 seconds into the game. I mean, you take away that, and Homestead's kind of been in control. And both teams a couple turnovers. Desmond Smith with the defensive interception off of Halpert, the quarterback for Snider, and Dominic Moon, a pick off of Evan Ormsby, the Homestead quarterback. So both teams have had a few mistakes, but overall it's been a pretty even game.
Yeah, it seems like a back and forth game so far. Homestead got a turnover, wasn't able to capitalize on that one. So Homestead could easily be up right now if they capitalize on that turnover, but we're not able to, so Homestead down by 3.
Looking at a bit of a scoring summary, not a whole lot of scoring in this one. To this point, mentioned the kickoff return for Tavarius Jones to start the game. Then Trent Ryder made his 6th field goal of the season in 9 attempts from the 9-yard line, about 22 or so yard field goal. Desmond Smith, I mentioned, a 2nd interception for the Homestead defense in the season. That's pretty much the summary for Snider in the first half when they've had the ball. And then when Homestead has had the ball, they punted it twice. Chambers had a 16-yard receiving touchdown. Ormsby with pass touchdown number 31 in the season. And Dominic Moon picked off Evan Ormsby to one of their last possessions of the first half. Homestead does get the ball to start the third quarter. So really, what are some keys heading forward for both teams in the second half?
Well, Homestead, you got to get it going on offense. Defense is out there, and they've hit their stride. They're getting the stops. If you're the Homestead offense, you got to get going now.
Looking at the Carroll game, 21-14, they lead over Warsaw. Pretty high scoring, you'd say, in the second quarter right now, Chris.
Yeah, and it's a close game also as well. I'm sure Warsaw's taking time off the clock running the ball.
Yeah, we saw a deep pass from Becker to Englert for the touchdown. And thanks to those of you joining us now as we're currently at the break between Homestead and Snider right now. After this break, I'm going to send it over to Joel McChesney for this week's edition of Inside Homestead Athletics.
Rethink your limits.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Inside Homestead Athletics, right here on the Point 91 FM. I'm your host, Joel McChesney. In this episode, we will recap the fall sports season and prep you for the cross-country team state meet on Saturday. Starting off with girls soccer. The girls soccer team took a disappointing loss at the regional matchup against Noblesville. They finished the season with a record of 16-3. The boys soccer team also took a tough loss at regionals to Fishers 4-0. They finished the season with a record of 9-7-2. The girls golf team finished runner-up at the state competition. The volleyball team took a tough loss against Hamilton Southeastern at regionals 3-0. Their end of season record was 18-12. The boys tennis team finished their season by losing to number 1 ranked Carmel at state. Now looking ahead to tomorrow, where boys runner Ethan Bates and the varsity girls cross country team will run in the state competition. The race is located at Terre Haute and will start at 1 p.m. Best of luck to all state runners tomorrow. This has been another edition of Inside Homestead Athletics. I'm your host, Joel McChesney. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join us next time right here on the Point 91 FM.
Welcome back to the halftime show. Currently at the break between Homestead and Snider. Right now we're going to take a look back to Chris and I's preseason predictions for the SAC in week 1 of the pregame show against Northrop, which is on YouTube. You can go back and watch. We're not lying when we say these predictions. We predicted the order of the SAC, and to be honest, Chris, I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, aside from maybe moving one team up a few spots, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were to like put these teams in maybe like a rank spot, then yeah, we would do good in places. I think we had each team within 2 spots of where they finished.
First, looking at the top, we both knew that Homestead, Dwenger, Carroll, and Snider would be the top 4 teams in the SAC. Originally, I had Dwenger, then Carroll, then Snider, then Homestead. And Chris, you had Dwenger, then Homestead, then Carroll, then Snider. So really, we knew Dwenger was going to be better than Carroll, and Carroll was going to be better than Snider. But where Homestead was, that's kind of where we were split. I had Homestead finishing 4th in the conference. You had them finishing 2nd. And it turns out Homestead, of course, won the SAC. So overall, I mean, not the exact order, but we both had Homestead towards the top of the SAC along with Dwenger, Carroll, and Snider, all in our top 4.
Yeah, we knew who the SAC powerhouses were going to be this year. And I predicted records as well. And I had the top 3 records right. So that was good. Dwenger 8-1, Homestead 8-1, and Carroll 7-2. I gave the tiebreaker to Dwenger. Well, tiebreaker goes to Homestead this year. So yeah, pretty good set right there.
Then the next group in the standings, how it actually ended up, Northside, Concordia, and Northrop all tied at 4 and 5 for 5th in the final standings because they each went 1-1 against the other 2 teams with that same record. And looking at how we did, I had Northside, Concordia, and Northrop all in the same spots, how they ended up. And Chris, you had pretty much the same. You had Concordia, Northside 5 and 6, but then you had Lures 7 and Northrop 8, and just flipped those last 2. But yeah, pretty close to being right.
Yeah, I maybe expected a little bit more from Lures this year, but like you said, we're right in that group right there. And Concordia, I was expecting a 5-4 record. I thought that they were a very good team, but 4-5 record, so not bad in that category either.
And then the bottom 2 or 3. Bottom 3 for me, I had Lures and Wayne and Southside in that order, and it ended up being Lures, Southside, and Wayne, with those final 2 teams both 1-8, but Southside the head-to-head win over Wayne, so they're technically 9th in the standings. And like I said, you had Lures and Northrop flipped, but you also had Southside and Wayne, the bottom 2 teams in the conference. So basically, we knew who's going to be the top, we knew who's going to be in the middle, and we knew who's going to be in the bottom. Not in the exact order, but we did pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I said previous to this. If we were to go with this into groups, top group of the SAC, we did pretty good. Middle of the group, you did great. I did all right. And then the bottom group, you had Lures right, and then I had the bottom 2 right. So all around, I'd say we did some pretty good predictions from, for what it's worth.
Yeah, Homestead wins the SAC 8-1. And I'm just looking at all of these teams' records. Dwenger also 8-1, Carroll 7-2, Snider 5-4, then Northside, Concordia, Northrop all 4-5, Lewers 3-6, and then Southside and Wayne 1-8. I'd say probably aside from Southside, well, I guess that's not true. Even including Southside and Wayne, I guess, as well, all these teams had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 losses that were, in a close game, back and forth game that they probably could have won. Look at Homestead, it's that Northrop game. Look at Dwenger, it's that Homestead game where they lost by 1 point because Lytle was, a couple feet short of the end zone for the 2-point conversion. I mean, Carroll, they lost by 10 to Dwenger and got blown out by Homestead. So it's not really Carroll, but Southside, they lost a close game. They were tied with Snider right up till the end, and then Snider pulled away with a touchdown with like a minute left. Wayne, they lost a close one to Southside, and Lewers, they lost a few close ones as well. And certainly for Northside, they lost some really close games to Northrop and Bishop Lewers. So really, pretty much every team in the SAC had a few games where they lost, they probably could have won.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that there was a bad game. I mean, I guess you could say Carroll's game against Homestead, Carroll would call that game bad, but I mean, there was always competition no matter who was playing who. So, like you said, good games all around no matter who was playing.
Even that Homestead Concordia game in week 2, I mean, really, that could have gone in Concordia's favor. I mean, Homestead only put up 7 points on offense. They had 6 turnovers, 4 interceptions by Evan Ormsby, and 2 fumbles. So, really, Homestead could have easily lost the game and been 0-2 to start the season. Yeah, the SAC, I mean, we are saying that we did a good job, but to be honest, it really wasn't that difficult to pick the groupings. It feels to be the same where Homestead, Dwenger, Carroll, and Snider typically are at the top of the conference every year.
Yeah, it's always the top 4 SAC powerhouses year in and year out, and then you can guess who the bottom couple teams are, in the recent years. So, like you said, we did all right, but it is kind of easy depending on how you look at it.
And I know we're at halftime between Homestead and Snider right now, but it's not too early, I guess, to maybe make some brief 2021 SAC predictions. Looking at the top team, I mean, who's going to be the favorite next year in the SAC? I don't think it'll be Homestead. Maybe Dwenger, but they lose a lot of talent. Snider, maybe. Not the greatest record this year, but that experience from the first half tonight, and we'll see how far they go the rest of the way. That could help them. I mean, Carroll, I guess, yeah, they're probably going to be the favorite with Jeff Becker, a senior.
Right, that's what I was going to say after you finished right there, was if we have to pick a favorite, I would take Carroll, because Dwenger, they're not going to return their quarterback. Homestead, they're not going to return their quarterback. And then Northside, they're not going to return their quarterback. So Jeff Becker, he's returning for Carroll. They're going to have a good offense, so I would pick Carroll.
Maybe a bit of an under-the-radar team is Bishop Lewers. They finished 3-6. Carson Clark, the quarterback, he's only a junior, I'm pretty sure. Expect Lewers to maybe make a jump next year towards the top end of the SAC. Yeah, we're still about, 8, 9, 10 months away from the start of the 2021 season. If there is one, I mean, you never know how long this pandemic will go on for. But
we'll have to get through that season without you, which will be tough.
And you just think, I mean, in the same position last year, we're talking about how Homestead, there's no chance for them to win the SAC again with all the talent they lost. I mean, we shouldn't really count Homestead out considering with all they went through this year. I mean, they very well could win the SAC next year as well.
Well, Homestead's proven over the years that no matter who they lose or how many they lose, you can never count Homestead out because they always find a way. Chad Zolman does a great job. Bill Skelton does a great job with the offense. Tim Messel does a great job with the defense no matter who they have. So like you said, never can count out Homestead.
So I guess the consensus from both of us next season, Carroll, the preseason favorite, very, very early preseason favorite, at least at this point. Currently halftime between Homestead and Snider. We'll be right back after this. Thanks for listening.
with a rebound. The clock hits 0. The Spartans are state champions.
Homestead will win the victory bell for the first time in school history.
Goody to the basket, goes up and throws it down. Boom shakalaka, pick another SAC Holiday Tournament crown.
Welcome back live to Homestead High School. Currently at halftime between the Homestead Spartans and Snider Panthers. The score is 10-7 in Snider's favor. And right now, we're going to take a look at some of the other SAC scores that I've collected. A lot of them to collect tonight, 7 other ones. Besides this game, Northside leading 22-7 over Northrop. I believe that one close to halftime or about halftime. Carroll and Warsaw tied at 21. That one almost halftime. Marion leading Southside 14-6. That one, I think, still in the first quarter, at least is what it said on my screen. Dwenger leading 35-6 over Anderson in the second quarter. Concordia and Oak Hill, or I guess Concordia up 7-0 at half. And for Wayne, I believe, right?
Yeah, look at that. Wayne's hanging around with Delta. I don't think a lot of people predicted that. So Wayne's able to hang around with Delta. They were up, and then Delta just scored. So Delta's up by 3.
A lot of SAC games on tonight, and I guess we don't have that Lures score either. We'll try to find that one. But yeah, in this sectional, both matchups really. Carroll, Warsaw tied. This one a 3-point game. I think a lot of people expected Homestead to win this one comfortably, maybe not by 30 points, but still they were the better team by far, at least on paper. But right now, Snider, thanks to a kickoff return to start the game and a field goal, holding Homestead to just a touchdown. Very impressive for the Snider defense. It's now 10-7, they lead.
Yeah, no team is going away right now. Snider, I expect them to just keep doing what they're doing. They're running the ball very well, so we'll see if that keeps up here in this second half.
Shout out to Hassan Lambert for Northside, the running back. I think I saw a stat something like over 220, something crazy like that, rushing yards in the first half. He's putting on a monster performance for Northside as they lead 22-7 over Northrop at halftime. That's a big one. At Northside, no fans allowed at that game.
Yeah, right, no fans.
10-7, getting set for the start of the third quarter. Homestead will receive. So I'll keep an eye on the Carroll-Warsaw game. If Homestead wins and Carroll wins, Homestead would play at Carroll. But if Homestead wins and Warsaw wins, Warsaw would play at Homestead, so we'd have another live video stream here at home. And also keep an eye on the regional. Don't have those scores for you, but that's still a few weeks away. You have Westfield, you have HSC, Noblesville.
HSC was up 21-7 on Fishers. I saw that one.
There really are 4 solid teams in that sectional around the Indianapolis area. We saw how tough it was to play Noblesville last year. If you're a Homestead fan, when they went down at Noblesville, I think Noblesville was 1-8 and Homestead was 9-0, and they barely got away with the win to show how tough it is to play Indy football. So back to this game. Start the second half. About to get set. Ryder to kick off to Homestead to start this third quarter. Kick is up. That's Nate Anderson who returns it at the 10-yard line. Across the 15, now to the 20. Round to the 30. Still going. Anderson finally out of bounds about the 37-yard line. So Homestead with some decent field position to start this third quarter.
Great field positioning to start for Homestead. Nate Anderson able to get a decent return there for Homestead. So really good start for this half.
Homestead only 1 touchdown scored in 5 first half possessions. First and 10 from Their own 38. Siddharth, the running back. Hand off to him. He has some room. Siddharth still going. Gets to about the 47 or so yard line. 46 maybe. It's going to bring up second and short, though, for Homestead.
Great run there by Nick Siddharth. Getting off to a good start in this drive, so really good start for Homestead.
3 receivers. Chambers, a tight end. 3 out left, 1 out right. Kistler on the near side. Homestead down 10-7. 11:15 to go in the third. First possession of the second half. Back to throw. Ormsby, Kistler, that's caught. Across midfield. Kistler dives forward. His first catch of the game to about the 45-yard line, now in Snider territory.
Another good play there by Evan Ormsby, able to connect a pass to Jared Kistler there. I think that's Jared's first catch of the night. So good catch for him.
Catch number 34 for the senior this season. Has 8 receiving touchdowns on the season, averages 16 yards a catch. First and 10 for Homestead on the 46. Play action. Ormsby across the middle, intended for Sparrow, a little bit low, incomplete. To bring up second and 10 for Homestead.
Looked like maybe he lost sight of it. Ball went down, and he just kind of lost track of that one. So tough break for Homestead, second and 10 here.
Spartans down 3. 10:45 to go in the third. Sectional semifinal matchup. And that Carroll-Warsaw game is now officially at halftime. The other sectional matchup. Play action. That is complete. First down. Gage Sparrow across the 30-yard line to about the 29-yard line. Gain of about 17. I guess gain of 21. Math a little bit off.
Gage Sparrow able to redeem himself. I know he wasn't too happy about that drop pass, I'm sure, and then he goes out and redeems himself on that one. So, great catch.
To the 29-yard line of Snider, first and 10. 10:37. Homestead ball. Receiver either side. Corners back off. They've done a nice job of preventing the deep ball, really, for Homestead. They've had a lot of short passes because of Snyder's defensive formation. Hand off to Siddharth. He has a hole. Siddharth still on his feet. Break out to the left side. Siddharth to the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown, Nick Siddharth. A 29-yard run puts Homestead back in front.
Great run there by Nick Siddharth, able to make a move, bounce out to the left side. Great run by Nick Siddharth. Homestead up for the first time in this game.
Second touchdown for the Homestead offense this game. Siddharth, a 29-yard run. Pretty sure his second rushing touchdown this season, had one against Northside. With Hardwick out, expect him to get pretty much the carries the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And assuming Hardwick does not return. 13-10, Homestead on top. Exactly what the Spartans needed. Took less than 2 minutes off the clock to score. Whistle blown. Offside against Snider. Not going to change a whole lot. Don't really see Homestead going for 2 right here. 13-10, 10:09 to go in the third quarter after the Nick Siddharth 29-yard run touchdown. Penalty decline.
Yeah, penalty there doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Grady Swing, the holder, one of the backup QBs for the Homestead offense. Potential quarterback starting next year with Ormsby a senior. Dugan the PAT. Tie. And good. 14-10, Homestead leading now over Snider.
That was a very good complete drive for Homestead. Homestead able to find their groove on that drive and putting it down at the right time. Struggled in the first half on offense, and then now they're hitting their stride at the right time.
Well, that's 14 straight, right? Yeah, it was 10-0.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of points scored if you're a Homestead fan, as they have scored since that Snider game. The lowest they scored was 41 points, which was 2 weeks ago against Southside. After the win against Snider, they put up 56, 70, 42, and 41 points. So for the Homestead offense, bit of a low-scoring game, but Snider's defense pretty good. One of the best run defenses in the SAC, and one of the worst pass defenses in the SAC. But so far, they've done a good job of limiting the Ormsby to Anderson deep balls, or Ormsby to pretty much any other receiver deep balls.
Just checked out a score. Lures 21, Fairfield 6. Brody Glenn just scored a touchdown.
There we go. Dixon, low kick. Turned about the 25-yard line. Spins around the defender across the 40, and finally brought down Adorian Rogers with the return for Snider.
Rogers on the return.
Austin Keyser in there on that stop. 1st and 10 here for Snider. They're going to start on their own 44. That's not bad field positioning for Snider to start their offense. Has been working all night.
10:02 to go. The third, 14-10, Homestead leading. Tyler Dent comes to the near side as a receiver. Jordan Lee in the slot. And another receiver far right. Halpert, plenty of time. Throws it's high. Oh, Homestead could have got that. No defender was really able to see the ball when it was in the air. Incomplete, 2nd and 10 now for Homestead, or for Snider, excuse me.
4 Homestead defenders in that area. None of them looking up to see that ball. Tough break there for Homestead. Almost had an interception.
14-10. Homestead now on top, but Snider with the ball. First time Snider's trailed this game. Mine 57. Hand off to Brown. Runs forward for a few yards.
Brown on the carry. 3-yard pickup, 3rd down and 7.
So it's going to be 3rd and 7, gain of only 3 for Tyrese Brown. And a player is down, appears from Homestead. Can't see who that is from here. Is that Palmer?
Palmer.
Homestead has struggled with injuries in this game. Hardwick went out the first half now. Here's Luke Palmer down. Team's leading tackler.
This game has been full of tough breaks.
As Homestead, pretty much all season, they haven't really struggled a whole lot with injuries, and I believe you have a score update, Chris. Is Palmer able to get back up? That's a good sign. Walk off under his own power.
Well, it's just an interesting score update. I know this is out of conference, but East Noble and DeKalb tied at 7. Wow, DeKalb not getting a win in the regular season, and now they're competing with East Noble. Impressive.
So the Homestead leading tackler and team leader, really, at least on the defensive side of the ball, Luke Palmer, who we thought was the defensive player of the year in the SAC. You were able to catch a radio pregame show. He's out of the game now, so Homestead, some other players now, and we'll have to see who replaced him. 3rd and 7 for Snider. Halpert play action, rolls out right side. That's complete. I believe that's Jordan Lee with the catch. First down for Snider.
You know, Snider able to pick up another 3rd down there. Snider's done well on 3rd down. They've done well on all aspects of the game so far on offense. So Snider able to keep that drive going.
I think Carter Koob is the one that's in for Luke Palmer, number 42 out there.
Correct.
Swanson on the near side as a receiver. Brown, the running back, alongside Halpert, quarterback. Player in motion, that's Billingsley. Halpert keeps it himself. Able to get a couple yards on 1st and 10. Clock ticks under 9 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Homestead up 14-10. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Snider offense.
Yeah, 2nd and medium here for Snider. Just interested to see what they go with. Matt Miller going in there. So beefing up the D-line maybe.
Miller in for Parrish. He goes to the sideline. 2nd and 9. Hand off to Brown. Finds a hole somehow and gets the first down, still going to about the 31-yard line. Pick up about 12-yard line, or pick up about 12 yards to about the 31-yard line.
This Snider team is moving the ball really, really well. And Homestead does not have an answer for it on defense. Homestead's defense needs to step up here.
Kohrman out as Parrish back in for the D-line of Homestead. Appears to be sending 3, at least at the line. 3 receivers for Snider. Halpert to throw. Plenty of time. Runs it himself, and he's brought down.
Halpert on the keeper.
Either Parrish or Bear. Couldn't quite tell.
Looked like Bear.
3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7.
Bear's 46, Parrish is 48. But still the Homestead D-line able to get to Halpert very quickly.
Yep, definitely 2nd and medium here again. Last time Snider ran the ball, we'll see if they do that again.
2nd and 7 from Homestead's 28, 7:30 to go. The third. Halpert keeps himself again, able to get the positive yards.
Another keeper by Halpert.
It's a solid running quarterback.
That's a good call right there, Matt, on the positive yards thing. You know, Snider has been real effective with their run game tonight. And not by being able to pick up the big gains. They're just doing little yardage at a time, and it's working. You know, 2 to 5 yards a play. Man, is it working.
Swanson out left, Dent in the slot. Brown the running back. Hand off to him. He's brought down. I believe Matt Miller the first one to hit him. That'll bring up about 4th and medium.
4 down. This is 4 down territory.
Big play coming for the Homestead defense. Like the Snider offense as well.
Homestead defense step up here, make a big stop, get that ball back.
Snider 45% conversion rate on 4th downs this season. 4th and 5 from Homestead's 26. Snider ball, they trail by 4, 14-10. 6:22 to go in the third. Halpert play action, rolls out right, he's chased, he's hit, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Homestead takes over.
Carter Cronin went in there forcing pressure on him, making him throw a bad pass. Great step up right there by the Homestead defense.
Along with Parrish, Max Schultz providing some other pressure. The Homestead defense really got to him right there and forced a turnover on downs for Snider.
Great stop there for the Homestead defense.
So right now, Spartans with momentum. As Snider turned it over on downs, that was their first possession of the half. Homestead scored a touchdown. Their first possession of the half. Siddharth, a 29-yard run. 1st and 10. Ormsby runs left side, has the space, gets the first down. Pushed back a few yards, but forward progress should get him first down. Gain of 11 for Homestead on 1st and 10.
Nick Siddharth, you know, when Hardwick went down against Northside, Siddharth came in. He had a great game, and he's doing that same exact thing tonight, able to, you know, run the ball very effectively for this Homestead offense.
First and 10 for the Spartan offense. On their own 38-yard line, 14-10, they lead over Snider. 5:44 in the third. Ormsby still has it. Pass complete, that's Chambers. Don't think he gained anything there. It's going to be a 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9 maybe.
It looks like he got like half a yard maybe. But so Homestead coming out here, 2nd and medium. Maybe looking to pass the ball here. Try and pick it up.
For the Snider defense, Ison Robinson in for Kenneth Ware. Snider 3 at the line. Back to throw. 2nd and 9. Ormsby. Kistler's hit hard, but somehow hangs on to it. That was a big hit that Kistler took.
That's kind of like the same hit we saw Homestead throw out against Carroll. It was called there, or it was called when we played Carroll.
Third, and they haven't updated on the scoreboard, about 5 or so.
I go 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 5.
4:30 to go before the third quarter ends. Ormsby to throw. Kistler again. Gets the first down across midfield to about the 48 or 49 yard line of Snider. Another first down for the Spartans as the Panthers sub in a few players. Cameron Miles in on the defensive side of the ball.
Good pickup again there by the Homestead offense, getting a fresh set of downs here.
14-10 Homestead leading the sectional semifinal. It's been a close one all the way. Snider led 10-0 at one point. Had a kickoff return for touchdown to start the game. Snider's 48. Ormsby has a man deep. That is caught on the far side. Nate Anderson, a big catch. Now inside the 20. 29-yard pickup.
Homestead doing a great job right there. First deep route we've seen Homestead run all night. Like I said previous, Snider moving their cornerbacks back, but Nate Anderson able to beat it right there.
Jackson McCullough able to push him out of bounds. 1st and 10. Snider's 19. Ormsby to Anderson again. Get some positive yards, but thrown back. It's not going to be a big gain, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 probably.
3:47 on the clock.
A lot of clock has gone off. You know, this quarter's kind of flown by, it seems like. So, you know, with time, you know, still a lot of time left, but clock is moving pretty quick.
Very low-scoring game from what we're used to for Homestead standards.
Yeah.
14-10, Homestead leading. 3:30 and under to go now in this third quarter. 2nd and 6 from Snider's 15. Ormsby the quarterback. Ball is snapped. Hand off to Siddharth along the right side. He has room to the 10-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and short.
He'll be just shy of the first down. 3rd down and 1.
Third and really short here. 3rd and 1 for Homestead. You know, maybe just a simple run up the middle to pick it up. You know, probably not going to get too fancy here.
Carroll Warsaw now in the third quarter out of halftime. Still tied at 21.
Also a really close, low-scoring game in that one, too.
3rd and about 1. Sparrow comes off for Homestead. Anderson out left, Kistler out right. Siddharth the running back. Ormsby keeps it himself, runs left side. Can't get past the defender. And
on the quarterback keeper.
First down.
He'll pick up the first down. It's 1st and goal for Homestead.
That was close, but Ormsby able to get the positive yards and keep the chains moving now. 1st and goal for Homestead from the 8. As Trey Hurst was trying to bring him back, but Ormsby able to get enough for the first down.
Yeah, good run there for Evan Ormsby, able to pick up that first down and get a 1st and goal here for Homestead.
14-10, Homestead leading, 2 minutes to go in the third. Hand off to Siddharth. Trey Hurst in on the tackle again, along with Dominic Moon. Loss a couple.
On the carry. Either no gain or a short loss on the play. 2nd down and goal.
So 2nd and goal coming up for the Homestead offense.
No,
1:40 to go. The third.
No yards gained there, and took 1 yard back actually. So now you got to go from the 9. 2nd and 9 here for Homestead.
Goal to go situation for the Spartans. Need 9 to get in for the touchdown.
Timeout, Snider.
And timeout is called by the Snider Panthers. That's their first of the second half. It's 14-10. Homestead leading, 1:21 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and goal for the Spartans from the Snider 9.
Yeah, Homestead faced with a 2nd and 9 here. Maybe look to throw the ball. You know, when you got to pick up 9 yards and you're so close to the end zone, you know, doing it all in one play, you know, it's not the smartest idea, but I would expect a throw here just to mix it up maybe.
1:21 to go in this third quarter. I think it's been a lot closer than most people expected. 14-10. I see people picking Homestead to win maybe by 20 or 25, something like that, which could still happen. But right now it's a lot closer than I think most people expected.
We previous to the game, we discussed this, the fact that, Snider has gotten better. And Snider has improved, and tonight they're showing that and making a game out of this.
And Snider without one of their key players, Kamari Juarez, pretty much their top receiver in the season. He's out tonight for the Panthers, but they have a lot of targets on the offensive end. Feels like for the Panthers, they could pass to, maybe 6 or 7 different players that are capable of making a catch. Aside from Juarez, who's out, it's not really one star for the Snider offense. Back to the Homestead offense out of the Snider timeout. Second and goal from the 9. Kistler out right, Anderson and Sparrow out left. Siddhartha running back. Back to throw. Ormersby with time. Throws a Kistler to the end zone. Touchdown, Jared Kistler, a 9-yard receiving touchdown. That's his 9th receiving touchdown of the season.
Great pass there from Evan Ormsby to Jared Kistler. Jared Kistler able to pick up a touchdown. Homestead now up, pending the PAT, 11 points. So Homestead, they've kicked it into gear, 21 unanswered points.
2 possessions this third quarter, 2 touchdowns. So Kistler with the 9-yard receiving touchdown. Swing the holder. Dugan on for the PAT. Up and good. 21-10 is the score. Homestead now on top, 21 unanswered by the Spartans.
Yeah, it's a great turn of events for Homestead, not going down and out. Homestead comes back with 21 straight. Now they're ahead in this game, so Snider's got to look to make a run at this.
And really, you take away that kickoff return for a touchdown, which, of course, still counts, but feels like aside from that, the Snider offense really hasn't done a whole lot in terms of scoring the ball, only a field goal since that. And since Homestead has scored this game the first time, Snider's not scored any points at all.
Yeah, you want to take away that kickoff right at the beginning of the game. Homestead's defense, they've only given up 3. And so that's definitely a key aspect to look at, that is the fact that the Homestead defense only giving up 3 points, same amount that they gave up the first time. So it's a solid game here.
We'll see if they can keep it going. That Carroll-Warsaw game tied at 21, so really anyone's game in that one. Dixon lining up for the kick. Kicks it to the 20-yard line. Returned to, still on his feet, the 30-yard line. Not much there for Snider. That's Adorian Rogers with another kickoff return.
First down and 10 coming up for
Snider's going to start on their own 31-yard line. So decent field positioning. Snider's got to kind of get moving. You only got a minute left in this quarter and then a full 4, so we'll see what happens.
Jeff Becker just ran it in for a touchdown for Carroll. Gives them the lead. PAT coming. So that's 27-21 Carroll in the third quarter, with the PAT still coming for the Chargers over Warsaw.
Yeah, Warsaw just fumbled there, and Carroll was able to pick it up.
For Snider, Halpert throws it deep. Could have been intercepted or caught. That was a really risky throw by Halpert into a lot of traffic, but incomplete. 59 seconds to go. This third quarter, 2nd and 10 from their own 31. Snider ball, they trail 21-10 against Homestead in the sectional semifinal.
Yeah, Snider receiver had him beat. Ball was right in his hands, and ball goes right through his hands. So tough break there for Snider. Yeah, risky throw, but it was a very good pass right in the hands of him, but he missed it.
Carter Coop still out there. Palmer not in the game. Run gets maybe a few yards.
Tyrese Brown on the carry. It's like about a 4-yard pickup. 3rd down and 6 coming up.
no hurry here in the Snider offense. Might just want to see that clock just run down and try and get a fresh start in the fourth quarter.
In case you're just joining us, Hardwick went down with an injury in the first half, and Palmer went down just a little bit ago. And I do not believe he's in the game right now for Homestead. 20 seconds to go. 6 on the play clock for Snider. 2nd and 10 from their own 31. Down 11. Hand off to Brown. Across the 40 to at the 41-yard line.
10 seconds left here. First down, clock's able to stop, but now it runs. They're probably just going to let him one down.
So with that, it's 21-10. Homestead leads over Snider at the end of the third quarter. Stay with us, and when we come back, we'll have the fourth quarter. You're listening to Homestead Football on the Point 91 FM.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Start of the final quarter of action. Homestead leading 21-10 over Snider. 12 minutes on the clock. Snider ball. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Brown able to get about 5 yards on that first down run. Bring up 2nd and 5 for Snider.
4-yard pickup. 2nd down and 6.
11:40 to go. Final quarter. So 2nd and 6 they mark him as. Down at the 46-yard line of Snider. Panthers ball, down 11. Upper handoff to Brown. Gets a few more yards. Close to midfield, but still quite a few yards short of the first down marker.
Yeah, just shy. You know, 3 yards to pick up here. Big 3rd down for both sides of the ball. Homestead defense going to look to get a stop here.
They have 3rd and 3 marked on the scoreboard from the 49-yard line. Snider still in their own territory. Under 11 minutes to go now. 21-10. Homestead leads. Receiver either side. Brown, the running back, alongside Haupert, the quarterback for Snider. That's 0 on the play clock. Timeout called by Snider. Could have been a penalty by them.
It seems like they weren't worried about the timeout call until it hit 0.
So this game, 21-10, Homestead leading, 10:44 to go. In the Carroll-Warsaw game, Carroll up 28-21 in the third quarter. So if both scores hold out, Homestead would travel to Carroll next week. In a big rematch from the shootout that was 70-41 on October 2nd. Still, this month feels so long ago when all that happened. Homestead got that win. 10:44 to go. Final quarter of action. It's been a low-scoring one, but still plenty of exciting plays for both sides. Certainly that opening play of the game when Snider, Tavarius Jones returned it for a touchdown, the kick for a touchdown, put him up 7-0. Snider also added a field goal later. Homestead has since scored 21 unanswered, and Snider has not scored since the first quarter.
Yeah, 21 unanswered by Homestead. A lot to be said about that. But now we're coming up on a really big play here. for the Homestead defense, hopefully looking to get a stop.
3rd and 3. Homestead sending a lot. And off to Brown. He's got the first down easily across the 40-yard line. A couple of big hits by Homestead defenders. But Snider able to keep the chains moving. First down for the Panthers.
It's a really good run play there for Snider. You know the run's been going tonight, so not surprised that they stick with that there.
Barkus, one of the players to bring him down, along with about 3 or 4 other Homestead defenders. Tyrese Brown, a great, strong running back for Snider. 1st and 10, 10:18 to go in the final quarter. 21-10, Homestead leading Snider ball on Homestead's 38. Billingsley in motion. Tricky play. Swanson throws it to the wrong team. That was Barkus. Nearly had it. Not sure who he was throwing that to.
No intentional grounding.
Officials talking about it now. I'm not sure who Swanson was throwing that to. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication with the routes. But Swanson was actually the quarterback and is the backup quarterback right now. So he has the arm, but just couldn't connect with anyone.
Intentional grounding is the call on Snider.
Good call right there by the refs. No one within even 10 yards.
Might be the first time that I've seen that. Intentional grounding called on a trick play like that. Usually you don't see that. We'll see how far this penalty takes Snider back, but it's going to be a long ways.
5 yards.
5-yard penalty from where the quarterback threw the ball, plus a loss of down.
So 5-yard penalty from where the quarterback threw the ball, plus loss of down. Officials blow it dead. Snider has a long way to go. They have to get to about the 28-yard line. Right now they're about the 48-yard line.
Well, good news if you're a Homestead fan. Luke Palmer back out there on defense, so good to see him back out there.
The SAC's leading tackler in the regular season. Missed week 1, still managed to lead the league in tackles. Hand off to Brown. Keeps going. Gain of maybe 6 or 7, but still nowhere near the first down marker. It's going to be third and 15 for Snider.
Yeah, this is a long way away. But I think you got to go out of your comfort zone and throw the ball. I mean, it's 3rd and, 15?
Back to throw, Halpert. Throws it. Barkus, another pick. Nearly dropped it, but Barkus, another interception for the Homestead defense. That's his 5th pick of the season, if I'm counting right. Big play and a turnover, exactly when Homestead needed it.
Well, I'm not too sure. You know, if Snider, when they step out of the comfort zone, it just doesn't work. There was not a Snider wide receiver around that. Isaac Barkus steps up, gets an interception. Great interception there by Isaac Barkus.
2nd interception thrown this game by Luke Halpert. One to Desmond Smith, this one to Barkus. Ormsby keeps it himself on 1st and 10. Quarterback run. Ison Robinson trying to bring him down. Finally get him. Gain of a couple in Homestead. Right where they want Snider. Can run the ball now. Siddharth out there. Hardwick still on the sideline for Homestead. 2nd and 5. Gain of 5 yards by Evan on that quarterback run on 1st and 10. 9 minutes to go. Snider only with 1 timeout left in this half. I think there's one thing Carroll could maybe pick up on this game. Well, one of the many things is in the Homestead passing game, the corners always back up, like you said, Chris, right before the snap to prevent a deep ball. Kistler couldn't hold on to that one. Incomplete. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Homestead offense. 8:28 to go. 21-10, Homestead leading in the fourth quarter over Snider.
Well, like you said about the cornerbacks moving back, Homestead was able to pick apart that Carroll defense, so I'm sure they want a new strategy.
And Warsaw just scored another touchdown. Now 28-27, Carroll leading. PAT still coming for Warsaw, that one in the third quarter. Homestead up 21-10 in this game. 8:38, 3rd and 5 for the Spartans after the Isaac Barkas interception. Fakes it across the middle, and Chambers somehow hangs on to it. Ethan Chambers to the 45-yard line of Snider. A big grab and first down Homestead.
Great catch right there by Ethan Chambers, jumping up, diving for that catch. Great catch.
So third quarter almost over at Warsaw. It's tied at 28. PAT was good.
Offsides right there.
Encroachment on Snider. Quick score update.
And Martel Keel upset about that. Thought it was maybe against Homestead or Snider. Number 38 in the white.
In the third quarter.
21-10, Homestead leading. 8:24 to go. 1st and 5, so the penalty against Snider. Ormsby. That one, Chambers couldn't hold on to. Maybe he was a foot and a half taller, maybe, but incomplete.
2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5 for the Homestead offense in Snider territory. The Panthers' 40-yard line. 8:16 to go in this game. Homestead up 11, only one timeout.
Homestead's offense, you know, they're not slowing down right now. Still trying to find big plays. 8 minutes left in this one.
That Warsaw-Carroll game, really want to keep an eye on that one. Hand off to Siddharth. So going, it's close to the first down marker. That might be enough as
the ball carrier.
a couple of players get tangled up.
He's going to pick up 6 yards. That's a first down.
First down for Homestead. Siddharth gains 6. 1st and 10 for the Spartans. 8:05, clock ticking down in the fourth quarter.
Great run there by Nick Siddharth. Nick Siddharth has stepped up immensely tonight. He's doing a great job in his position.
7:53, 1st and 10. Snider only one timeout, down by 11. Homestead ball. Siddharth gets the carry again.
Siddharth on the carry.
To the 34.5-yard line.
Little to no gain.
Maybe 1 yard on that run for Siddharth, but clock ticking down now. 30 still on the play clock.
Yeah, if you're Homestead, I think you just kind of let it go.
7:20. 21-10 is the score. Homestead leading over Snider. 21 unanswered for the Spartans. Second and 9 from Snider's 34. Throw off the hands of Chambers. Could have been dangerous, but no Snider player able to get it. 3rd and 9 now for Homestead. We'll see what they do here. Go for the run or the pass. This 3rd and long.
I kind of thought that Snider cornerback had a shot at an interception. Is that Warsaw with the turnover?
I didn't see what it was. Probably
interception.
Interception.
Warsaw's got the ball back. Tie game.
Maybe they could run out the clock the way they play and just end the game scoring a touchdown. Penalty against Snider. We've seen a lot of small penalties against Snider, not a lot of like 10 or 15 yarders, just a lot of 5 yarders, which really have cost the Panthers both on offense and defense in this one.
Yeah, you say small penalties, but those are the ones that'll get you the most.
3rd and 4 for Homestead. 7:05 to go in this fourth quarter. Ormsby, Anderson, that's complete. Still on his feet. Anderson to the 10-yard line. Gain of about 19 yards for Nate Anderson. Picks up the first down. And Homestead close to the end zone once again. Under 7 minutes to go in this game.
Homestead's offense is doing a great job right now. They're moving the ball very well. And look to see that keep going. Let that clock run down a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 11. Siddharth, the running back. Back to throw. Hand off to Siddharth. Across the 10, Nick Siddharth to about the 5-yard line
Siddharth, the ball
of
carrier.
Snider.
A 6-yard pickup, 2nd down and 4 from the 5.
2nd and 4 from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, good pickup there for Homestead, able to get even closer to that touchdown in there. They're letting the clock run down with these run plays, so Snyder's not going to be left with a lot of time.
Second and 4 from the 5-yard line. Snap. Ormsby. He's able to be brought down. That's Markel Keel, the defensive end.
Ormsby sacked.
That's
for a loss in the backfield.
Keel's 4th sack of the season for Snider.
Third and a decent amount now. Looks like third and right at the
7-yard loss on the play. Now it's 3rd down.
right at the 10, so like 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11.
3rd
Yep.
and 11 on the play here.
3rd and 11 from the 12.
3rd and 11 from Snider's 12. Homestead up 21-10. 5:23 to go in the 4th quarter. Sectional semifinal matchup. Ormsby has a man touchdown. Is that Gage Sparrow? The touchdown. 2nd receiving touchdown of the season for Sparrow.
That's a beautiful pass right there. Evan Ormsby able to find the seam that he had open, put the ball right through there. Gage Sparrow with the catch. Great play there by Homestead.
So Ormsby with his 3rd passing touchdown of the game. None have gone to Nate Anderson. 1 to Chambers, 1 to Kistler, that one to Sparrow. Siddharth also a 29-yard run.
4, 5,
Dugan the PAT for Homestead.
8, 9, 10, 11,
Up
12,
and
13, 14,
good, 28-10. Homestead leading.
Homestead 28, Snider 10.
It appears the Spartans may be on their way to another appearance in a sectional championship. 5:16 to go. Snider only 1 timeout left.
Yeah, not a lot of time left for Snider to score 18 unanswered. Of course, anything can happen, so we'll see what happens.
Like I said, anything could happen, but holds up and Homestead does win. We don't know where we're going next week. Either they stay here and broadcasting game against Warsaw or going to Carroll and being probably outside next to the fans, if fans are allowed, which I'm actually at this point I can't even say for sure they'll be allowed, but that game tied at 28.
And Warsaw, it looks like they're just going to run that ball.
I'd like to see the time of possession in that game. I'm sure Warsaw's had it a lot longer than Carroll.
Yeah.
That one in the 4th quarter tied at 28 between Carroll and Warsaw.
Looks like Warsaw's moving the ball right now up the field.
I'm making the full screen on my laptop. Had a split screen between this game and the Warsaw game. Maybe keep a better look on that one now.
Now I get a better look at it from over here.
Okay. Perfect. Watching 2 games at once now. Warsaw there into Carroll territory. The 44-yard line.
It looks like Warsaw just kind of runs the same formation every play.
Dugan, the kick. It's a bounce. Jones picks it up. Last time he had the ball, he returned it for a touchdown. Breaks around the edge. Jones has room. Tavarius Jones. Finally out of bounds. Flag is thrown, though. Maybe a fight breaking out here. I was on the far side from where we're at. Didn't really get a good look at it. Emotions running high for both teams. If you're Snider, it's frustrating to see your season potentially end down 18 with 5 minutes to go in this game. But if you're Homestead, not really a point of getting involved in. Didn't really get a good angle, but we'll see if any penalties come out of this. Officials discussing it. The far side of the field. 28-10 Homestead leading. As Warsaw just got a big play to about the 22-yard line, first down, and they're moving. If you're Warsaw, you just run that clock out in the fourth quarter. Don't know how much time is left, but don't even let Carroll get the ball. Or if they do, maybe make them use their timeouts.
I watched a replay on that play, and it looked like Snider thought that a Homestead player late hit out of bounds. It did look like that, and then the Snider player just took it upon himself to take him and throw him into the kicking net.
Maybe a teaching moment for Kurt Tittman on the sideline, as well as Coach Zolman, to avoid these types of things. Can't tell on the far side if a player is down. I don't believe so. I believe just Coach Tittman talking to his team.
There was the initial flag, which I think was a block in the back initially, and then you got the late hit, and then depending on what they call on Snider.
The good thing about this is that it keeps us on the air while that Carroll-Warsaw game is going on, so we might know while we're still on the air who's Homestead, if they hold on to win, will be playing next week.
Warsaw's inching their way towards that end zone. Wish we knew how much time was left, but
we're not going to go there. 5:05 in this game.
Oh, man. Carroll's defense.
Flag is down in the Carroll game, not the Homestead game.
Well, and flags are down out here, too.
Yeah. 28-10 is the score in this game. Homestead leading, 28 unanswered for the Spartans, and officials taking a long time to discuss maybe potential ejections. And this Homestead team, really a great season. After the loss to Northrop 25-21, 8 straight wins. To win the SAC back-to-back years, really a great accomplishment for this Homestead team after losing so much talent from a season ago.
Yeah, what an accomplishment for Homestead coming out here, winning 8 straight games. And looks like maybe the rest are going to come out and come to a consensus here. You know, it's such a tough, you see 5 different players involved, and it's hard to pinpoint who did what.
They've really taken a bit of time to do this, to get the call right.
Well, you got the initial. The block in the back that happened previous to what happened there.
Now the official going to Coach Zolman for the Homestead sideline, maybe talking about it. Guess we can give a quick scoring summary right now. Well, we have a stoppage of play to start the game. Tavarius Jones, kickoff return for a touchdown. Oh, and we see a couple Snider players leaving the stadium.
Maybe an ejection right there. Yeah.
Earlier we saw Markel Keel upset about a call.
Now he's out.
I believe that's him.
Yep, that's him right there with the helmet off.
Brought my binoculars, but I can't quite see.
Yeah, that is Keel over there.
So Snider appears 2 players ejected. This one. Don't see any Homestead players leaving, at least from our point of view.
Here we go. That's the initial.
So penalties for both sides.
I have no idea what's going on. How many on each?
Block in the back, and then a lot of personal fouls. And Homestead runs back on the field. And you see the Snider player coming back. Maybe he wasn't ejected.
That's just one player coming back. Wasn't there 2? Wasn't there 2 that left? I don't know. The ref didn't signal any ejection.
Warsaw took the lead. PAT.
Warsaw up.
34. Now 35-28 in the fourth quarter. Don't know how much time is left, but Carroll, if they do score a touchdown, I could see them going for 2.
In sectionals.
On the road, I mean.
Score update from Warsaw. Warsaw 35.
They've really taken a long time in deciding this. Felt like basically a fight or some play that probably shouldn't have happened between both sides on the Snider sideline. When one player was tackled out of bounds.
And then a retaliation kind of thing.
So we haven't actually had a snap from this game in quite a while. 5:05 to go. 1st and 10 for Snider. On the 22-yard line. Running back, I think that was Brown, able to get a few yards, maybe 4 or 5. Clock ticking.
You know, it really doesn't seem like Snider's, you know, in a big hurry to try and get back in this game. You know? I mean, I would think we would be seeing some up-tempo offense, but we're just not seeing that.
Yeah, under 5 minutes now, approaching 4.5, down by 18. Chances are slim for Snider to come back on this one.
Yeah, but at least give it a shot.
Hand off to Brown. He's able to break free. Reach for the first down marker.
Brown on the carry. The 5-yard
And he
pick
got
on
it.
the first down.
Tyrese Brown, another first down for Snider. I think that last stoppage of play really, I guess, hurt Snider in a sense.
Well,
kind of just took the air out of him as a team.
Slowed everything down.
4 minutes to go now in the game. Halpert to throw. He's chased. Avoids the tackle. And is finally brought down near the eventual line of scrimmage, or the original
right around the line of scrimmage.
line of scrimmage.
Second down.
I think that was Burton on the tackle. On the far side.
Here's a score update for you, Matt. 42-6, Lures. Brody Glenn has 3 touchdowns on the night. He just had an 81-yard touchdown.
It's good to hear. I believe we picked the same 6 of the same games right, and I picked Lures, and you picked Fairfield, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, correct.
Hand off to Brown. 3:20 on the clock, ticking, not much there. So yeah, we tied, for those of you that don't know, in our predictions. 36 games in the regular season, picked every SAC game, except for the one that we were broadcasting. Whoever Homestead was playing that night, and we tied. And it appears it might have a 1-game lead after tonight.
Southside is down by 7 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Southside's making a game out of that. Truthfully.
2:51 to go in this game. Halpert throws the right side. That is complete. Carter Wertman the catch. 20th catch of the season.
You know, I see number 90 out there, but we didn't see number 91 tonight. I think he could have made a difference for this Snider team.
I would agree. The last time Homestead played Snider, there was a number 91 that wasn't listed on the roster. We never figured out who he was, and
the
just
announcer
disappeared.
Yeah, the announcer for the stadium didn't even know a name. But he did great.
Yeah, he was actually making some big plays late in the game. Maybe he might make an appearance late here. You never know. 2:10 to go. 28-10 Homestead leading, 28 unanswered for the Spartans. Snider to punt on 4th down. Instead of going for it, they punt, give it away to Homestead. Bounce at the 40. Gets a Snider roll to about the Homestead keeps rolling. 16 or 17-yard line. So at this point, if you're Homestead, victory formation probably.
Let it run. And then another score update for you. Delta 35, Wayne 18, fourth quarter.
So Homestead will get the win as the Spartan defense played well, and the Snider offense has really struggled in the second half. Really the final 3 quarters of the game.
Victory formation.
Snider 1 timeout left, down 18, 1:49 to go. Homestead going to take the knee. That's what they do. So the Spartans had a scare early. Looked a little bit shaky early on if you're a Homestead fan.
Is that Warsaw with the ball back?
Can't tell. I'll have to see. Oh, I see Jeff Becker out there.
Okay. It looked like.
Can't tell how much time is left, but it appears Carroll taking their time in that one.
Homestead in victory formation here. Homestead's going to come away with a victory tonight. Good comeback by the Spartans, down 10-0, 28 unanswered points by Homestead.
Another knee. 1:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Homestead leading 28-10. Oh, wait, actually, Chris, you are correct. Wait, Jeffrey Becker, no, that's my mistake. I thought he was playing defense for a second. Warsaw appears to have the ball. Their formation is so odd, it looked like they were in defense. 40 seconds. .30 seconds. Another knee. That should do it. Homestead will get the 28-10 win over the Snider Panthers. A nice win. Tough to see the Panthers season end. As you can just tell in that Snider sideline, they just look depressed in a sense. Just they had everything going their way, then just kind of lost it really the last 3 quarters of action. You can understand they had a nice comeback, final half of the season, but not enough as they fall to Homestead tonight.
Yeah, it's a really tough ending for Snider. They're just going to head to the bus. They're ready to get out of here. But great win by Homestead. You know, like I said previous, 28-point comeback, 28 unanswered. So heck of a comeback there. Kurt Tittman and Chad Zolman just shook hands, had a good moment there. Kurt Tittman, a well-respected coach in the area, so tough to see his season come to an end.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir.
Now in the OPS post-game show, we're going to take a quick break and be back. We'll be right back after this.
Rethink your limits.
Homestead High School in the OPS post-game show. Homestead gets the win 28-10 over the Snider Panthers. A nice win for Homestead. They struggled early on as Snider took a 10-0 lead, but 28 unanswered points, and Homestead finds himself moving on to the sectional championship next week.
Yeah, I mean, great game by Homestead. You know, rough start. When you give up a kick return early, that kind of takes everything out of the team, and then you're able to bounce back with 28 unanswered points. You know, it wasn't a great start, but Homestead able to come back and get it going.
Taking a look at some of the stats, Evan Ormsby, 18-24, passing, 239 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Luke Halpert, 5-16, passing 43 yards and 2 interceptions. For Homestead, they were led by Nate Anderson with 7 catches for 113 yards, no receiving touchdowns. Chambers, Sparrow, and Kissler all had receiving touchdowns. And some more stats as a team. Siddharth, 57 rushing yards, a touchdown. Tyrese Brown, 158 rushing yards. When you look at the total plays, both teams had 52, but Homestead outgained Snider 347 to 236 in total yards. 23 to 15 first downs in Homestead's favor. Snider 2 turnovers, Homestead only 1. So after a rough first start to really the first quarter, I guess, Homestead played much better.
Yeah. You know, when you give up, you know, not mean to repeat what I said, but giving up a kick return first play of the game, you know, that's not an ideal situation. And then you go down 10-0, and then you got to bounce back. And Homestead did that, putting up 28 unanswered points. That was a good show out by the offense to come back and get it going.
If you had to choose, Chris, who would you say is a player of the game for Homestead, both on offense and defense?
If I was going to pick for offense, I mean, you don't want to count out Evan Ormsby. He had a great game, but Nick Sidarth, I think when you see a running back step in and have a game like he did, I mean, that's just a great step in by Nick Sidarth. And defense, I'll give it to Isaac Barkus. It was a great interception. You know, he leads the team in that category, and then he comes up with one in the playoffs here. It was a great interception. He was able to jump on it, so I'll take Isaac Barkus as defensive player of the game.
That Warsaw-Carroll game, Warsaw leading 35-28 over Carroll in the fourth quarter. Not sure how much time is left, but not too much. They have a run play right now, and it appears they just scored another touchdown to go up by 2 possessions over Carroll. So if that score holds up, Warsaw would come to Homestead.
Last score update from Warsaw. The Tigers just ran
And with the win over the Snider Panthers tonight, the Homestead Spartans advance to next week's sectional championship to take on the winner of Carroll and Warsaw. And right now it's looking like Warsaw. Any final thoughts from you, Chris, as we close this post-game show?
Warsaw hangs on to this. We got a home game next week against a really good Warsaw team. You know, they're a great team. They just knocked off Carroll if this holds on. So we got a good matchup set for next week.
Snider Panthers finish the season 5-5 with the loss. Join us next Friday as the Spartans will take on Warsaw or Carroll for a chance to advance to regionals. Thanks to those helping out tonight: Ashton Hackman, Caleb Wood, Tyler Veit, Trevor Newhouse, and Anthony Gary, as well as Adam Schenkel and Andy Dunn. That's going to be it for us here at Homestead High School. 28-10 is the final. The Spartans are victorious.